Hello, hello. Kappa, how's it going? How's it going generally, everyone else? I'm glad that it's Friday tomorrow. I say that every Thursday, but it will never not be true. But yeah, we're back with Tales. And I think, yeah, happy tomorrow, that's right. I think this may be the last day we do Tales of Berseria, unless it manages to, I don't know, bring it around and be more interesting than it has been up to this point. There's nothing particularly wrong with Tales of Berseria.
Scout ship
It's
setting
just
sail.
not that interesting. It's very sort of slow. It's just slow to get anywhere, honestly. What am I doing right now? Return to the Van in Elsia. Yeah, we'll run. Yeah, I mean, there's just better uses of my time, I guess, is really what it comes down to.
I thought I smelled someone pondering. What's on your mind, Laphicet?
I know Siegfried comes from another continent.
It doesn't
and
help
all,
that a lot of the
but
characters
do
are
you
kind
know
of getting on my
anything else
nerves.
about it, Ropero?
Nope, can't say I do. All I care about are swords. That contraption doesn't interest me much.
I suppose that makes sense.
There's
But it
also
looked
just,
real
you know,
powerful.
Just
other
guessing
games I
based
could
on
be
how we
playing.
saw Zavid use it, I'd say it
Like, I was
amplifies his
reminded
power
that
somehow.
Stray
An
is on my list of
amplifier.
things that I want to play as well.
It's true that he seemed
kinda
to
had
get
forgotten
stronger
about
when
that.
He fired it at himself.
Yeah, and it gave that dying legendary wyvern enough strength to escape.
Oh,
But
in other
wasn't it
news,
also
though,
what he used to dispel Melchior's illusions back there?
That was
My
also amplification.
Stereo
The
IR
Maw
170
the
came in
source of his
today.
arts. The
So
relic
now I
pushed
have to
them
go
past
through
their
the
limits
process
and
of
kablooey.
Suffice it to say, it can be
experimenting
used
with
both
that to get that set
offensively
up
and
for hand
defensively.
tracking.
It must be very hard to
It's true,
master.
Vesperia had good characters,
More important is what the Abbey plans to do
including a
with it.
knife-wielding
Not that
dog.
I really care.
Laffy said, may I ask you something?
There are,
What is it?
if I remember correctly, there
The
are
girl with the umbrella from
at least
Lord
a
Melchior's
couple
illusion.
dud characters
What is her connection
in
to Eisen?
Vesperia.
I don't think he'd answer if I
I
asked
don't
him
quite
myself.
remember. I feel like there's an annoying
I
kid,
don't know. I was wondering about
but there's
her
Knife
as well.
Dog.
She
is
was
great.
pretty, wasn't she?
Oh, so you like
There's-
a girl who's cute,
There's
but with a bit of
perpetually
sophistication.
handcuffed kicking guy.
I thought his type was more like
Hard to argue with that.
What's going on?
Then, you know,
We
Yuri,
were
who just
discussing a delicate topic. Laphicet's first crush, if you must know.
gets
Oh.
stuff done.
No, we weren't. We were just talking about the umbrella girl from the illusion.
The umbrella girl. That illusion made Eisen hesitate.
Yeah, that helps a lot.
She must be really important to him.
Indeed. It
The
must be a
heroine,
deep,
who I
naughty
definitely do not
relationship.
remember the name of,
Come on now.
Like a wife he wants to
Uh,
leave, but he can never let
I
go.
feel like it starts with an E,
Or
but I don't
a lover
remember.
from whom he can't move on.
I think she
No, that's too
is a
wild,
little
and she's
bit
too young.
tropey,
Yeah, it's not that.
but
What's more likely for a self-serving
yeah,
pirate is
she's
a daughter
fine.
from a woman who only
She's a
knows
little
him
bit
by a fake
bland.
name, perhaps one whom he cast aside, or who cast him aside.
And maybe she was somebody he couldn't marry for some reason. But when she died, he raised her daughter for her. He had been friends with her since they were children. But they only realized their true feelings after they had been married
No,
to someone
she's-
else.
She doesn't.
Their idea
Well,
of
that and I
romance.
feel like that's almost one of the problems, right? Is like she
In
doesn't
any
stand
case,
out as
beware of
particularly
girls,
terrible
Laphicet.
to
Right.
interact with, but alongside great characters, it's like, could the female lead be a little better? Can we just, you know, shore that particular gap up? Get her to stand out somehow, but not like stand out terrible. Oh no.
Right then, let's finish this. Here it comes.
That is definitely true. Well, and so I feel like one of the problems with JRPGs and good female characters, or I guess like I would say like almost perceived good female characters, when they're like, yeah, we'll make them strong. They usually just sort of make them ridiculous in some fashion. They can't just make them, I don't know, normal and effective. Because what's her face in this game? Velvet. She's like, yeah, strong female lead. Except she's like, I don't know, emotionally stunted and ridiculous. Like, I don't know, all she wants is revenge. Like, that's not a particularly interesting character, whether it be a female or a male lead. They're both just like, okay, whatever, I guess. And I feel like Lightning from Final Fantasy 13 is a little bit similar as well. Essentially, so I think kind of part of it is like, in order to make them, or try to make them the main character, they almost try to make them mannish. Like, well, they gotta be gruff, rough and tumble, bullish, blah, blah, and it's like, okay, so now they're just a bullish, emotionally stunted, manly female lead. Like, that's not interesting. We can just do better characters. We just do better characters. I feel like that's a really common problem on your subject of, you know, strong or good female characters being tough to find in JRPGs. I feel like that's the main crux of the issue, is that they just kind of screw it up in that fashion.
Now what are we gonna do?
Which,
What's wrong?
on
dog
like the
came up with
exact
the book in its
contrary,
mouth.
which is I think
Here,
why
Take a look.
Yuri
It looks pretty old. I've
is
never seen this kind
such
of
a
writing
good
before.
character
It's
from
not ancient
Vesperia,
Avaros,
because he's
that's for sure.
kind
Part
of
it looks
like
a chronology.
yes,
So
that's
maybe
true.
it's a history
JRPG books,
book?
movies, TV,
If I
very
were to
common
guess,
across the
I'd say
board.
they're Meliodosian
Because Yuri
characters,
is
which
like
would peg it at about
far
2,000
more
years old. It's
a
more
normal
recent than Avaros,
person
but the
that will
writing has fallen
simply
completely
do
out
what
of
has
use.
to be
All
done,
kinds of notes are written
rather
throughout
than
the
being
book,
like
too. Someone must have been
fundamentally
studying it.
flawed
If
in
it's
some
research
other
material,
way
that might
to
make it
allow
Vidal's
him
book.
to do
Vidal? Who's that? He's a
what
weird
must
kid
be
who's
done. It's
way
like
into studying history. He lives at the
he just
inn.
does
Could you maybe
things.
deliver the book to him for us? We were told not to get too close to him, so...
Yeah, sure. I guess.
Yeah, he's nuanced. Like, that's... He's a good character. I mean, for goodness sake, like, Rapide from Vesperia is a dog that doesn't talk. And he is more nuanced than a lot of characters. Which is incredible.
My
What happened to
book,
the writers
my
from
book.
Vesperia?
Where
Where'd
could
they
I've
go?
left it?
What are they
You,
doing?
Vidal? Is this yours?
My book. Oh, that book is super important to me. Thank you.
Stupid
I'm
face.
Lapiset. I hope you don't mind that we flipped through some of it. Can you actually read Meliodosian script?
You recognize Meliodosian writing? That's unusual in this day and age.
Oh,
What?
it's not that big of a deal.
You're like
really.
8.
When I grow up, I want to be an adventurer who travels the world and explores lots of ruins. So to make sure I'm ready for anything, I've been studying ancient history, starting with the Era of Darkness.
Okay.
The Era of Darkness? You're referring to the Dark Period, right?
Right. Almost no written records from the age have survived. But if you compare the history before and after, you can tell something major must have happened.
Wow, that's fascinating.
I know!
Look at those two, all worked up over an old book. My little brother was just like that too. Luffy and our brother used to.
We've received reports of suspicious persons in the area. Have
And
you
our
seen
brother.
anything?
I think,
Not
did you mean
good.
Dr. Torius?
They're onto us.
They're different
Quickly,
brothers? I
hide in
don't
my
know.
house.
Videl, have you seen anyone suspicious recently?
Sorry,
Yeah, your
sir.
mom.
I've been absorbed in my book.
Heyo.
That's all right. Thanks. Look, I know it must be tough living alone with your mom. Just remember, your father's a
Return to your mom.
praetor. He's out there fighting to protect us all. Keep your chin up for his sake at least, all right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, whatever. Get out of here. She didn't even wait like 12 seconds
Thanks
after
for
he
your
was
help,
gone to just be
Videl.
like, "What? Ba-ba-da-ba."
Videl, your father is an exorcist?
Yeah, he is. But don't worry, I won't say anything about you and your friends. I'm your friend too.
Really?
Okay.
And to prove it, I'll let everyone in on a big secret. This book tells you how to make an Omega Elixir, an incredibly ancient and powerful medicine. If I'm reading it right, you need 5 ingredients in order to create the elixir. I've only translated one of them so far, but I'll tell you what it is.
That's really nice
You know,
of you,
I feel
Videl.
like, okay, so I'm
But
sort
I
of
don't
realizing
have any
one of
way
the
to
things
repay you
that's
for this.
Oh, please, think
getting on my
nothing of it.
nerves,
I'd just like it if you came and talked with me again sometime.
really just why it feels
Of
sort of boring,
course.
is like
What are friends for?
the blocking of these conversations. I feel like there is always this gap between lines, and the lines are
Omega
delivered
elixir.
slowly.
That's an ancient medicine said to be able to cure any disease. But it was my understanding that no samples or recipes
These
survived
conversations
the
are a
era
little
of
better because I
darkness.
think they're not trying to match
Meliodosian
the mouth
script was used
movements as
prior
hard.
To the era of darkness, so
It's
I
probably a
guess
lot
it's
easier for
possible
them
that
to
Vidal's recipe might be
modify
legit.
these.
He's just a kid. I don't know how much we can trust his translation.
You saw his notes. I doubt many adults
It's
could
way
even get
snappier
anything
than
out of
the
that book.
cutscene
You might be
conversation.
onto something.
Kids are more capable than we give them credit for, especially where their interests lie.
I think we can trust Videl.
Luffy used to read books intently like that too. Furthermore, couldn't a
Being a
hypothetical
snappier
Omega
conversation
elixir be
doesn't help
quite
the
useful
actual
to you,
lines
Velvet?
delivered,
Luffy said,
or the
"You look
dialogue,
like
I
you
should
really
say,
wanna
because the
track
lines are
down those
delivered
ingredients."
fine. The
Yeah,
voice actors
I
are doing
do.
just fine.
Personally, I don't really care. But if you want to look for them, I won't stop you.
Okay.
Oh, we're still returning to the Van Eltia. This was apparently a side thing. What's up?
This big storm came and swept me out to a Class 4 island, and let me tell you, it's as bad as the rumors make it sound. I wanted to
What is
just
that even,
wait
a
it out
Class
in a
4
shipyard
island?
somewhere, but then
What does that
the
mean?
water turned all gooey. Then I had these jellyfish things coming onto the deck, and before I knew it, slugs were swimming around in the damn ocean.
That
Wouldn't
sounds
the
gross.
salt in seawater mess up a slug?
That's
yeah,
a good question.
that's what I thought too. But these weren't no sea slugs neither. It
But
was
also, there
scary.
is a thing called
I'll
a
tell
sea
you that
slug,
much.
so
You want my advice? Stay the hell away from that island altogether. But if you do go, watch out for that gooey stuff.
What did that pirate
I don't-
mean by class
I don't know if I can
4?
take a
I've never
pirate
heard of
seriously
that.
when he's talking about
It's a
gooey stuff.
classification the Abbey uses to help inform their strategy, an estimation of how well they've been able to manage the demon outbreak in an area. Administrative Zone Classes 1 through 3 have been assigned a suitable contingent of exorcists to guarantee the population's safety.
So, class 4 administrative zones are ones that are still unsafe?
Why are there 3
In a
classes
perfect
for
world,
safe
the
and
entire kingdom would be
1
protected,
for
But
unsafe?
there's just not enough manpower to go around. The Abbey doesn't send exorcists to remote areas and far-off islands.
Like how
Instead,
unsafe?
they avoid casualties by making those areas off-limits.
But that pirate mentioned he'd come close to an island. Are those policies actually enforced?
They send out an
I mean, they're
official
kind
notice
of
to stay away,
self-enforced,
and
right?
that's all.
Go
It's
to
not
class
like they can
4,
blockade
you
every
end up
tiny
dead.
remote island out
Ta-da!
there. So you're free to dive into the deep end if you want, but no one will come to your rescue. Hope you know how to swim.
Yeah, that.
If they could keep the demons in check, they wouldn't have to tell people to stay clear. Frankly, I think the Abbey just doesn't want to go near places like that.
I mean,
In other words,
why would they?
these are dangerous places that the Abbey has washed their hands of.
Makes you wonder how much they can administrate these places when they're not willing to get their hands dirty.
Are there many Class 4 administrative zones?
I've heard of 10 such regions in my time working as an inspector
10?
for the Abbey. But I'm afraid I couldn't tell you their exact locations or their current status.
If the Abbey abandoned this island, it's probably safe to assume that it's getting to be pretty dangerous.
If we go there, we're gonna want to be prepared.
Now go to a class 4 administrative zone. An excellent question.
Demons! There's more of them.
I feel like
Band of
that's
'em rampaging through Warwick Forest.
maybe a
There was already
localization
one dangerous demon in
snafu.
those woods, and now we have more, and they're still on the loose. A lot of exorcists have come to deal with them, but
What do these demons look like?
That's what I want.
Because if you think of possible synonyms that don't sound as good, but maybe more make more sense,
it's
like maybe it's a class 4 like supervisory
these
zone.
demons
It's
really
like
are a pain in
I
the
can
neck.
kind of see what they were
If I was
trying
an
to go
exorcist,
for, right?
I'd lay down some justice,
Like,
I tell ya. At the end of the
there's
day,
zones
it's not
that
the
are
demons
under
or
their
the exorcists that have it
supervision
rough. It's us
or
normal
their
folk.
care or their like their yeah,
Thanks
like
for the warning.
it's under their watch, but it is a particular class, and they like administrative was sort of the most succinct word. Yeah, advisory, but that doesn't quite work out right, nor do any of the other ones kind of sound really right either. They chose to try to keep it succinct. I can kind of see how that may have occurred. Especially just, you know, understanding the way sort of kanji works and the possible sort of depth of nuance that can go into a
Sorry
like
to
a
worry
Japanese
you.
word like that we don't
And the
really
captain?
accommodate.
It turned out to be a fake. But now I know the real one's still alive somewhere.
Oh yeah, that's what was going
Of
on.
course he is.
Not that he has a lot of time
Honestly,
left.
that's one of the big signs to me that
What
it's
do you mean?
not that
Calm
interesting
down.
to me because
I'll explain
I sit
later.
down and I do not
Aizen,
remember what had been going on last time because I just
You stay
didn't care
calm
enough.
too, okay?
There was just not enough
And you've all
attention-getting
taken your
story
Salatoma?
that I was
Yes,
like
sir.
And nobody died.
on board.
All still kicking.
It's like I don't really care about Ifreed. I just don't.
All right. Then let's get ready to sail out.
Already done, sir.
Like they have really
We're
not
ready whenever.
established my caring about almost anything. They're like,
The
hey,
pirates
here's
freed,
Lafayette.
huh?
Lafayette
There's
died.
worse
That
out
makes you
there.
real upset, doesn't it? And I was like, I don't care. He's been here for 12 seconds. And now we're like all aboard for Ifreed? Why? I don't care. Last 4 zone? We could just straight go there? I mean, I will admit, I'm a little curious. Bing! Can I have a save point? No? I can quick save, can't I? System. Does this not have a quick save? Am I thinking of a different game? This feels dangerous.
Is that a fighting arena of some sort? I don't see any demons around.
Look! There's something spewing out of the middle!
This could go poorly.
I sense a really malicious force emanating from it.
It's probably the vengeful spirits of those who fought and died here looking for glory.
Shut up,
Thanks
Megaloo.
for that. Now I've got goosebumps.
Let's
cry
try not
about
to
it,
wind
Eleanor?
up as more vengeful spirits.
Anything over here? What do I hear? Oh, the fire. I was like, what's crackling? Here you can battle waves of specific types of demon. Select summon demons to call demons to the arena and commence battle. After a certain amount of demons have been defeated, more will appear. The battle is over when all demons have been completely wiped out. If you are defeated in a battle, you will return to your original pre-battle status. Make sure to prepare yourself thoroughly before stepping up. First time you clear the challenge, you'll receive a reward, so give it your all. Okay, let's see how horrible it is. You stole my kill. Get out of here, squid. Oh, wow, squid is squishy. Super squid. Wow, I stunned the crap out of that guy. Really did just round up everything that is squishy. Oh, toast. Oh, the spell animations are cool. I'm kind of surprised this is going as easily as it is. Surely there's something giant that's gonna show up. Wow, I sent that guy flying. Oh, on this tablet. I glanced over and I read on this table and I was like, does your table have speakers or did they sound bad on another table? I don't understand. But no, tablet makes more sense. I'm going to assume that there were typos involved in that sentence. That makes far more sense in context. Wow, they really just keep coming. Oh, these are even squishier than the last. True. Autocorrect is a menace.
I thought we were done for.
That was surprisingly easy. Virtuoso's Ventite allows you to perform different arts by pressing attack while guarding.
Looks like we won't be joining the party.
Hey, Vex.
I can see why this
How's
place
it going?
is the stuff of cautionary bedtime
I
stories.
appreciate you stopping
Not to
in.
mention why the Abbey's keeping way the hell away.
We shouldn't let our guard down. But this place could still be a good chance to hone our combat skills.
Indeed. Most everything we fought here
I've
seems to follow
I
a pattern.
lurk in your
This is a good
stream
place
pretty
for
often
tactical
while
training.
I'm working. I've
If we
seen
ever
you've
end up
been
on another
taking
island
off
like
quite
this
well.
one, we should probably come prepared for the kinds of enemies.
Oh,
we
have you
face.
been suffering from the recent heat waves? Do you have to struggle through with no AC? All right, off we go to Yasult, where we wanted to go before anyway. Do we just get caught by fights occasionally in the ocean? Is that a thing?
It's too bad
No,
that
conversations.
wasn't the real Ifreed. But I'm glad everyone on the ship is feeling better.
Yeah. Though it sounds like they never want to touch that Salatoma stuff ever again.
Oh, that's so brutal.
What about Eleanor?
She took it too, and her face went all wow.
It's
I don't mean
it's
how she
almost
looked. I mean how she
it's almost like a
actually feels.
culture shock.
Oh, well,
Because
she
I'm
looks like
so
she feels
used
better,
to
too.
just like
Good.
everybody's got an
You're
AC.
worried about her, aren't
And
you,
it was almost
No, it's nothing like
it,
that.
well, not almost. It was very surprising to me
Let
when
me
I
tell you something,
learned about
kiddo.
like the
When young
typical
maidens ripen,
highs
they have trouble
over
expressing
there
their
like
feelings.
oh, it's like
So
in the
velvet's
70s Fahrenheit.
right then?
I was like, that's the
Novulae.
norm in
Quit giving
summer?
Loffies that
Like, no
confusing
wonder you
thoughts.
guys don't have ACs.
No
That's like
trouble expressing
the
those
best of
feelings, I
days
see.
over here. But yeah, now that's really coming back to bite you in the ass with the whole no AC thing.
The Abbey is supposed to exist to bring peace and order to the world. Everything the Abbey does, everything Lord Melchior and Shepherd
Yeah,
Artorias
the
do,
the freaking
it ought to
houses
be
are
rooted in
designed to
that
keep
mission.
heat in.
And yet,
I
something
really
just doesn't feel
wonder
right here.
like what's
You are
the
dismissed.
long
That
term
knowledge is
plan?
not
Like that's
for you.
such an odd circumstance because like obviously it's going to
Something wrong?
continue to be hot. So like what? They can't change all of the
Whoa, easy
houses.
there. Just
That
asking.
I mean
Sorry.
window
I was just
units?
deep
I
in
don't even know
thought.
if window units
Is there something
fit
you
in
need
the
from me?
windows. Like
Just heard a bunch of
it's
sighs
just one
and
of those
wondered if you were feeling sick or
infrastructural
anything.
like
No, I drank my
undertakings that
Salatoma juice.
I don't know what
Tasted like crap,
it's
didn't it?
gonna take.
It wasn't that bad.
Hey,
What?
I mean, the mud house might
you
be
afraid of
the
demons?
best
No,
strategy.
I am
Everybody moves
not.
into a cave for the summer.
It's more like I despise them. 10 years
Yeah,
ago,
but I wonder how much
looks like
those are
them
going to be
attacked my
impacted.
village.
Because, like, it's
They
not going to be
destroyed
efficient
everything.
if the houses are
And
insulated in
everyone.
such a fashion as to
Including
try
your
to
family?
hold in warmth.
Yes.
I'm not sure
The
exactly
only
what that
family I had at that point was my
entails,
mother.
though. That's true. They
And with all
usually
the
do have
chaos,
the wall units. Because insulation is kind of insulation.
left
I
to
wonder
curse
if
the
there are
tan
some
mirror she
simple
gave me.
modifications that can be taken to sort of try to keep heat from
I didn't want anyone
Sort of
else to have to feel the way
creeping
I did.
in.
And so I became an exorcist in order to destroy demons.
Yeah, I mean, that seems like the most
So you can keep your pity.
straightforward strategy.
gotcha. I will then.
Get yourself an AC or more ACs and try to avoid relying too much on other energy sources. It's a crazy world.
What is that?
That's an
That's
excellent
called
question.
A penguin, a type of bird native to this area.
It's a freaking tropical penguin.
Penguin.
Their meat is succulent and tender.
Oh,
it makes a
it's a
lovely stew.
it's a tropical
Wow,
penguin
what's
we're
it
gonna
taste
eat.
You'd eat that poor thing? Savage.
So,
You're one to talk, demon.
it averages probably in the mid
It was
80s
one of my mother's
Fahrenheit.
specialties.
All right, enough of the chit-chat.
Mid 80s is probably average for
Nogulu.
summer. It
What's this
can
grimoire
get up
friend of yours
to
like?
over 100. Not too far over 100 where
How do I
I'm
put
at.
it?
But that is unfortunately extremely humid as well.
Oh.
So we can get, like, the feels like
You know,
temperatures
like
up to
that.
110 to 115 Fahrenheit.
what?
And I don't have precise conversions
Well,
because
to put
I
it in a way those of meager imagination
can't,
can understand.
can't put the mental
Prince got
effort
a sort
into
of
running
listless,
that calculation.
aristocratic air about her. A noblewoman in her
Yeah.
twilight, you could say.
Huh. So you mean
We
like
have not
a
had
woman, but
quite
different
as
from
brutal
Velvet and
a set of
Eleanor.
heat waves this year as, like, Europe
You're
has.
not wrong there. Tell you what, just
Yeah,
keep an
like,
eye
so
out
like
for a
38
grown
Celsius.
woman.
We have had...
Uh,
There have been
grown
other
woman.
parts of the
Okay, I
U.S. that has had
Since we
some
got her
really
name,
rough heat.
We could start by
'Cause
asking
I know there are
around.
some that I think
Exactly. Now you're talking.
in the Southwest that got up into, like, the 120s,
What's up, kiddo?
which
Maggie
is...
Lou, you're a grown woman
crazy.
yourself. So why is it you have trouble clearly expressing your real feelings?
Good question.
I live in the Midwest, which,
Simply, a long time
as
ago,
of thus
mine
far,
broke.
has kind of
Now,
avoided
ta-boom! Bye-bye.
most of the problematic
feelings
impacts
broke?
of climate change so far. Like,
Come on.
we haven't been hit too hard
Let's
with
question the
droughts. We have a lot of
townsfolk.
moisture around. We haven't had too ridiculous heat waves. We're not like breaking records every day over where I'm at. Yeah, like we haven't been too bad. We do get some wild thunderstorms every once in a while, though. We definitely get that. I can't necessarily say that it's more than we used to, but we get enough, and they are wild. Yes, you will
I
fang.
knew this would be big. What a
Empyrean
treasure.
tablet. Artifact unearthed from the Norman archipelago. The tablet is inscribed with 5 crests and is thought to have belonged to a temple. Yeah, there are areas of the U.S. that are having some ridiculous droughts. It's just my immediate vicinity has thus far not
Scout ship setting
caught it.
sail.
Oh yeah, the fires. Well, I mean, if you have droughts, you're gonna have wildfires. They're like hand in hand. It's not a great time. I do think it's funny that there have been some contingent of very dumb people who have been trying to, like, push for the idea that we should build a canal from the Mississippi River out to, like, the western states, like the Colorado River, to help their lack of water issues, which is just the most ridiculous request I have ever heard in my life. Have you not ever seen that? I mean, there's not, like, a large contingent of people, because I believe most people realize how incredibly stupid that is, because it's, like, I don't know, what, 3, 4, like, 1,000 miles? I don't know how many thousand miles. It's a lot of miles. And more importantly than the fact that it's thousands of miles to do something like that. Oh, that's true. We do get ridiculous polar vortexes in the winter. That is absolutely true. That is, yeah. But the idea that we should build a canal from the Mississippi River is the exact problem that they already started with, which was they treated the Colorado River like it was an infinite water source. Like it was a freaking Minecraft water block set that was just going to never run out of water, and so they just overdrew like crazy. And they're like, well, okay, the Colorado River might not be an infinite water source, but the Mississippi River, now that's an infinite water source. It's like, guys, figure out your water. Honestly, my major opinion on that, and I don't know if it's being worked on, yeah. The floods have been crazy. Yeah. That's honestly, that's not that far off topic, because we just recently had some super crazy video come out from Las Vegas. Because Las Vegas, one, in a desert. But two, been in a drought. And so just recently there have been videos of they got a pretty significant storm after their droughts. And the footage of the flooding is wild. I mean, we're talking like cascading water in casinos, just pouring in from just all directions, down the street, like inches deep. It's nuts. If you haven't seen it, you should look up some videos of the Las Vegas flood, because it was a lot of water and it was kind of nuts. So what we're saying is we're all doomed. So play some video games before then, because I don't know what else to do. I just don't know. But what I was saying about the water issue is I think we're going to just have to do more research into desalination. Well, Mars has probably far more unfortunate issues. Oh yeah, the rain in New York City that just floods the frickin' subways. But we're just gonna have to figure out how to get drinkable water out of the oceans more effectively. Because there's just too many droughts, but we're getting even more ocean than we had before. The problem, of course, with desalination is not that it's impossible. It's actually relatively straightforward, but it is energy intensive. So if we could just, you know, have a shit ton of energy, we could just have as much drinkable water as we could need. The problem with desalination is the crap that you're left with. You're left with essentially toxic sludge after desalinating. The gunk that you're left with is disgusting and quite dangerous. Honestly, yeah, kind of. Nuclear, well, and it's unfortunate, specifically in the US, how sort of significantly nuclear has been demonized, I guess you could say. So, like, research in the US, or more specifically, plans for building any nuclear is just like decades behind where it could be. And building one new is like a decades-long project to get it accomplished. So we're in this weird situation where most companies don't really want to do nuclear simply because they're like, oh, well, it's going to take so long that like wind and other renewables will be readier by the time we would be building the nuclear anyway, so we'll just use those. But of course, that's not necessarily true.
Midgan declared war on Southgand.
Ironically enough,
but yeah, like we really should be building a lot of. So
continued for a long time, but in the end,
you know, on the subject of high-speed rail, that is yes. But the problem is that I saw, interestingly,
age of exploration, more like age of exploitation.
When things were
yeah,
that
it
bad,
is
they could
somewhat
still
stigmatized
joke about
everywhere.
it?
That is true. The thing is, I think it's almost different, and I can't necessarily say that. I live in the U.S., so I only know the one perspective. But like, I feel like Europe has a more like legitimate reason to sort of show the concern around nuclear because they had actual nuclear issues with Chernobyl, right? Granted, there are a lot of reasons that you can evaluate what happened in Chernobyl and just, you know, avoid that. But, like, then, you know, Japan had, what was it, Fukushima? Is that the nuclear plant that they had with the tidal tsunami? The thing is it does need a better PR team. I've seen actually some interesting videos trying to do a little bit of destigmatizing nuclear, simply because they were talking about the fact that nuclear waste is actually, like, a solved problem, and it's not hard to deal with, and it's overblown. Anyway, what I was saying is that the US doesn't really have, like, an at-home scenario to, like, talk about why we don't do nuclear. Like, as far as I know, there hasn't been, like, any huge nuclear disasters. Like, you can just avoid the failings of other systems and just, you know, do better. Like, we especially because in the US, we have so much land. We could just put them far enough away from, like, settlements that even if something went wrong, it's like, it's fine. We have so much land, it'll just be over there.
This place was even more relaxed before the opening. But
I feel like nuclear fusion is another one of those techs that have just been like, oh, well, nuclear fusion is right around the corner, and so they don't do the nuclear basic fission stuff.
We have the Abbey to thank for that. And because
well,
people
yeah,
are
I mean,
traveling more now,
we
the
did
need
bombs,
for ships
but
has skyrocketed. Our lumber
not actual, like,
industry
nuclear
is
energy.
booming.
In other words, when the money started flowing, people
I don't know. We should have invested more in
That
nuclear
and
energy.
those exorcists and soldiers
For
from the
sure.
bigger cities, they really seemed sophisticated. People from the other islands wear
But the video I
different
saw
clothes
talking
and
about
have things
nuclear
we don't,
energy,
you know?
Getting worked up and worked over by what's trendy.
I'm just ignoring
Is that
literally
foolishness
everything that
not
they're
the very
saying because it's just
definition of
not
youth?
interesting enough to me.
This keeps up. Our island's traditions
Yes, the
won't
nuclear
fade
weapons
away.
are our context,
That's
which
what worries
I guess
me.
is
I
fair-ish.
understand how you feel,
But, you know,
have to
misinformation
give
and
young
stuff.
people the freedom to be themselves.
But it was interesting to see the video that I did about nuclear waste because they're like, people, you know, are scared of it and whatever. There's actually some, I don't remember what country it was in, but they have a nuclear plant where you can actually go, it's like a public space around it that you can go and interact with the nuclear waste. I don't remember, like, I don't remember what they call them, but essentially they're just columns. So they take the nuclear waste that's produced and they just cram it in a pillar of concrete. Like, that's just what you do with nuclear waste. And you just toss it outside. Like, there's just enough concrete in, you know, it's like 6 feet across, maybe. Like, it's a pretty big pillar, but, like, that's all it takes to safely contain, I don't know, like, years worth of nuclear waste. And it's like, nope, there it is. That's all the space it takes up. It's still on, like, the power plant grounds. It doesn't take up that much space. They have, like, enough space that they could do that for decades upon decades. Yeah, there's just this, I guess this, and maybe that's a modern, like, a more modern nuclear plant that it just produces less. But this idea that what is produced is some, like, radioactive buckets of ooze is simply not the case. They just take the spent fuel rods, they just fill it like a big column of cement, they toss the rods in, and then they just stick it over the side. And they actually have it open grounds. You can just walk in, you can put your hand on the columns to see how, you know, nothing is happening. They have Geiger counters and everything in the area so that you can see how little above ambient
Still
it
no
is.
leads
And it's
on
just
that
like
grimoire lady.
destigmatizing nuclear waste. It's like, it's not that big a deal. It's just, it's a solved issue. And this idea that everybody has from, like, movie and media that it's these buckets of problems is just not true. I was like, wow, that's really interesting.
Oh, what? I think I'd at least rate a Kraken.
Keep this up and I swear I'll eat. It's them.
Hey, it's them. Hey, that was actually a good camera
The
cut.
final preparations are complete. Once you've assumed your new post, everyone will act on your command.
Thank you, sister. But to be honest,
Yeah,
I worry that
unfortunately,
these
at this
shoes I'm
point,
filling might
any
just be a
nuclear
bit
that
too
we're
big
going
for
to
me.
get is,
You
like,
need not worry.
decades out.
You
'Cause it just
possess
takes
a
so much
special
time.
strength and quality that others lack. Shepherd Artorias has high hopes for
But
your
who
deployment
knows?
to
We're gonna have to do
Palamedes.
something.
Fear not. Just be yourself and you'll do fine. Believe you're a leader, and you will be.
Yes. I'll try to make you proud, sister.
They're sending him
And yes,
to
to your point,
Palamedes?
Kappa, that you said, yeah, it
Is
doesn't
that the
generate a
name of
lot
the
of waste.
facility on
Like,
this island?
there's just not that much that gets produced.
I had better get going.
Safe travels.
Oh, one more thing. Be
Yeah,
careful
I
around
mean,
the
for the
demon in
US,
Aria.
it's a small step,
It's stronger
but
than it looks. We've even had some
it's at least
casualties.
something.
Understood.
What a ridiculously broken system we're operating under.
Also, if you must drink the water, remember to boil it.
Okay.
Sister.
Remember to boil the water. You don't want to get Montezuma's revenge.
I know. I worry too much. But I just can't help myself.
So there's a demon.
Well,
in
yeah,
Aria.
I mean, something is
Sounds
better
like it's a
than
pretty
nothing.
feisty one, too.
The only
If so,
concern,
it
of
may prove
course,
useful.
is hopefully what that generates is
Oscar to show
a
up here at
greater
the very
will
same hour we
to
do.
see good things done. Hopefully, things actually get
I
accomplished
understand your
in the
suspicion of
positive
me,
sense, which
but
will
have you any
instill a
proof?
greater will in the people
None,
to
it's
see
true.
further
But
legislation
as
that
an
actually makes things
exorcist,
better.
You're certainly
The
sympathetic
concern,
to
of
the
course, is that
Abbey's
we get the
cause.
opposite, which is that
And
everybody
soon you
comes
may
back
wish
and
we were
says,
sympathetic.
"Didn't we already fix that with that one bill?" And that's the fear, right? Is that, like, especially the GOP,
Eleanor
right,
hasn't
is
been
going to turn
snitching on
around
us.
and say,
I'm
"Well,
sure
didn't
of
we
it."
do that bill?
How would you know?
That's
Are you
fixed it.
watching or even
Why are
just
we
taking
talking
a
about it
bath?"
anymore?" And it's like, you've got to be kidding me.
No, I don't. I always stay outside when she's taking a bath. And
Then isn't it possible she's communicating with the Abbey in secret while you're not there?
You pledged to obey me until the day you die, correct?
Yes, that I did.
You should pay attention. There's
Remember,
significant
when you
conflict
two
occurring
trade
right now.
blows, only the Abbey wins.
One less demon, and one less traitor for them to worry about.
Man, it's a shame that I
while
can't
we're
like
standing
these
around
characters
here
very
arguing,
much
that demon could be attacking Grimoire.
because the fashion pieces have allowed me to
true.
make them look
Let's find some more
awesome.
people to question around town.
I love the way all of these idiots look, but they're still idiots. Oh, I should check Magalu. Did I ever put anything on Magalu? I don't remember. I should check. She must look as equivalently ridiculous, but also great as everyone else. What do you got, Magalu? No! I have nothing. Aside from the giant hat that you... I mean, I guess she just brings the ridiculous appearance by default, is really what it comes down to. What? Oh, earrings, right? Uh-huh. Rings? Rosy cheeks. Okay, that looks pretty funny on her. Nope. Oh, wait. Colored sunglasses. I feel like they're not quite the right size for her, actually. Oh, even the regular sunglasses. Interestingly, it appears that the sunglasses change color to match the character, because Rokuro's are not pink. His are purple. Oh, they match the outfit. Look at that touch. Incredible. See, the people making this game aren't complete putzes. They can do it when they try. All right, maybe the halo. Actually, what I really wish is that we had some devil wings or a devil tail to go with the angel halo. That feels so appropriate for Magalu. If only. That's what I need for Magalu. She's keeping the Angel Halo, and we need the Devil Tail to go along with it.
So what's it really like?
I've decided.
The connection between Moloch and Vessel. Do you share, like, thoughts and feelings?
Sort of. When I'm dwelling inside Eleanor, I can see what she sees and hear what she hears. But I can't read her thoughts or her emotions. Sitting in a box doesn't teach you how the box feels.
I see.
I guess that's fair.
In that case, I want to give her as little time alone as possible.
I don't want to bathe with her, alright?
I know. You're a boy and all. For her baths, we can send Bienfu. No, that's a bad idea. It'll have to be Magulu. Or
It's
myself.
fine.
What sort of boundaries have you and Eleanor drawn?
It has not done a
Obviously.
great job of, like,
We talk
catching
before
my
bed sometimes,
interest.
but it's not like
The
I'm
story
sleeping
is
by
a
her
little
side or
bit
anything.
slow-paced,
It's
and
easier
it's
for me
kind
to
of
tell when
focusing
she
on
wakes
things that
up
I
if
don't
I'm
care
dwelling
that much
inside
about.
her.
The
Does she
gameplay's
ever get
pretty
out of
good.
bed at night?
It
Not
took a
in
little
my
while to get
experience.
going,
And she sleeps
as
so
far as the combat
peacefully.
system is concerned. But it's pretty good.
When she's around you guys, she always looks so stern.
They
But when
they
she's
also are
sleeping,
really attached to
her
this dumb
expression
kid that I
is
just don't care about.
Softer, you could say. She lets her hair down too. And I think it's kind of prettier that way.
Huh. So that's what he likes. Well, keep an eye on her, but...
But?
Keep an eye on her
Watch out
butt.
for the older
You
kids.
heard her.
Huh? Teresa and
Was
Oscar
she not
sure seem
clear?
close.
I've known them since I was an initiate, but I've never seen them quarrel. Not even once.
Did you ever fight with your brother,
Sorry,
Velvet?
Yeah,
it is
I guess I
weird
did. Sometimes I cheer
their
him out,
attachment to
and he'd
that,
sulk and stop talking
but
to
I'm
me.
really
But I found
disappointed
that adorable,
that
too.
the actual joke that was
No
like
matter
made
how much he
available
dug in his
there
heels,
when
or
she
tried to
said
talk like he was
literally
in
keep an
charge,
eye on her
after a
butt,
while, he'd be
the
right there
stupid kid did
trailing
not
along behind me.
misunderstand
Like a
that
little puppy
as
dog.
keep an eye on her
Puppies
butt,
are a lot
because
more
that would have been
obedient.
legitimately
I always had to
funny,
keep an eye on him.
and they just like
Little
they
brothers
dropped
are
the
odd
ball.
creatures.
Rokoro's a little brother. Is he adorable too?
Huh? I don't think a little brother who's out to kill you is in any way adorable.
But Shigure seemed like he was having fun.
Sometimes you just don't
Yeah,
make sense.
I mean it's certainly weird and creepy. It's not
I
great,
don't know.
Little brothers.
but I really
Do
do
you have any
enjoy
siblings?
a good
I'm an
joke
only
about
child.
intentionally
that's
mishearing
perfect.
something,
You pretend the boy
because
is
that's
your
funny
little
to me.
brother. Huh? That's a bit extreme, but actually, when I'm talking with Lavisette, sometimes I think, this is what having a brother must feel like.
I could be Eleanor's brother.
Don't take any of this nonsense seriously, Laphicet. Malakim are just tools to exorcists. She can never think of you as her brother.
Characters are
Oh.
so
Yeah.
like
You're wrong.
Velvet has brother envy.
changed
What?
how
That's
I
so
view
stupid.
Malakim. I know that's true because I can think of him as a
Also, I'm just never going to get over the fact
She's all talk. Don't believe
that
her.
like she just turned around and named some other kid
your own opinions upon
the
him.
same name as her brother. That's so weird.
Sisters struggling for the affections of their brother. Eeny teeny candlestick. Which one will the Muppet pick?
How about an older brother instead?
Like we really just gave up on that particular thread, but I really would like to go back to the fact that she just tossed out her dead brother's name to another kid. And she's just like, "You're my brother now." Like, ma'am, are you okay? Yeah, which she is obsessed with avenging. That's the only reason this game thus far exists, is to avenge that stupid brother that we don't care about. Like, she literally was just like, "Boy, you look a lot like my dead brother. Guess I'll call you that." Like, what? You good? Yeah, she's just like, yeah, we'll go with that. That sounds great. And she has just felt fine about that ever since. Nothing unusual occurred at all. Like, I don't know about that, guys. Hello.
What does it mean to become an adult?
The eternal question of youth.
Sure.
Have you ever heard of the ceremony of adulthood? It's a yearly tradition on this island.
If I remember right,
She was
it's
kind of mad at
totally
him
wild.
about it.
Everyone
How
throws
dare you
bananas
look like my
and
brother?
oranges at each other.
Traditionally, yes, but things have changed.
Don't take
over
that
the years.
name. Like, you-
Bananas and
what?
Oranges are a thing of the past. People are always reaching for bigger and better things, right? In this case, it's watermelons. Whole watermelons.
You're throwing
What?
watermelons? That's gotta hurt.
What?
Trust me, I know. But
I wasn't
watermelons
listening,
are
and
the
then
least of our
now
worries.
they're talking
Recently,
about
People
watermelons.
have started flinging coconuts.
Coconuts? Those things are as hard as rocks!
Trust me, I know. Like getting hit with a brick. Now, every year, there are some kids who never make it to adulthood.
You don't mean they...
Yeah, I've kept putting it off myself, but it looks like this year I've got no choice but to participate.
Okay,
That's
that was a bit
crazy.
too
It's
hard on the
far too
pronoun game.
dangerous.
I'm
And
unclear
more
what they mean by they
importantly,
never
how
reach
does it make someone an
adulthood.
adult?
Are you
There
saying
are
they don't
ancient
do the
traditions that
ceremony,
say
or they
overcoming
are
danger
killed
marks
by
a child's
coconuts?
coming of age.
Did you just
Some people still
casually
cling to the old
mention
ways.
how children are being
Hit the
killed in
nail
a
on the head.
ceremony that's
There are
supposed to get
lots
them
of
to
old folks that
adulthood,
sit around
but are being
complaining how
bludgeoned by
weak or
coconuts to death?
starving kids are. The hypocrites.
Can we-
Back then, they used bananas and watermelons. They even cracked the watermelons ahead of time.
I don't
What?
think cracking a coconut would help much either.
So that's why you're standing about looking blue.
I'm so ashamed of
You know what?
myself.
I'm
for
just gonna
being
go with that
scared.
interpretation.
If you don't want to do the
This
ceremony,
insane
why not
village
just skip it?
has some stupid
love to,
ceremony of
but I don't
adulthood
really
where
have
they
a
throw
choice.
fruit at each
I
other,
wouldn't be able to show my
but
face
kids are
around here
dying
if I
left and
chickened
right
out.
from brain
Having the
damage
courage
due
to
to
say no to something you don't feel
blunt
is right.
force trauma by
Isn't
coconut.
that the true mark of an adult?
Wait. You're right! Now I can finally become an adult! Oh, yeah! Look how grown up I am!
Yep, you sound very adult.
And getting carried away with yourself and acting the fool is the true mark of
Velvet,
immaturity.
we finally agree,
Sorry.
you and I.
You're right.
I feel like, you know, I feel like Velvet's life advice would be far more akin to, like, why don't you just throw the coconuts at the adults? Because, you know, her single character trait is revenge. Like, get you some revenge. Hit them with the coconuts. That'll teach them. Amphibole. New stuff. Amphibole. 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 A ribbon. A talisman. A belt. A pendant. A garment. A waistcoat. You know what? Why not a second waistcoat? Hey. Floric garment. Okay, we got one of those. Did I not buy? I thought I bought the ribbon. Yeah, whatever. Oh yeah, you know what? I just realized. Yeah. Oh, how do I? Next page. Wait, what is this? Did I or did I not get the ability to... What the heck are these buttons? These are what I actually always wanted, though. Because now I can potentially set magic. Why is this... Like, why are more controls locked behind in-game items? Why can I not just have more control over my abilities in-game? Can we have that? I don't know why they make it so hard. Okay, do I have... help? Battle? I maybe have information about the new item thing I got? No. I don't. I'm not exactly sure how to use that other thing.
Hey,
we'll figure it out in a minute.
It looks like Bienfu.
Ah, a keen eye you have, young man.
Freaking whoop.
That is a doll of the Empyrean Aminoch.
Oh god, Bienfu is gonna be absolutely
Yep, no doubt about
unbearable.
it. I've seen her with my own eyes. Real dignified, but not without a bit of a temper.
You saw her? Why was she angry?
Well, the Abbey's banned any profession of the
Green it
Aminochian
is.
faith in Southgand, despite her popularity. Gotta assume that's what got her all bent out of shape. I tried talking to her, but no matter what I said, she was just like, oh.
Wait, that sounds like...
And that low-energy goddess you
what
saw?
does that sound
The doll
like?
you've got here looks like her?
Yeah, more or less.
Ha! Fortune smiles upon thee, weary adventurers. That listless goddess is none other than Grim.
Grimoire
Good.
isn't human?
When did I ever say she was? So,
I
shopkeep,
can
where'd you
always
see her?
expect that of
I
you,
think
Vex.
it was down by McClear Beach.
Pensively watching the tide come in? That's her, all right. Quickly, to the beach!
To the
Why
beach!
Didn't you mention Grimoire as a Moloch before now?
You can't be too careful with that information. Spies, spies listening everywhere!
Ooh, a chest. Yoink. Oh, a chest full of garbage that I can't carry. How delightful. Where? I see a conversation thingy. Where is this? Where are you? Are you... where? Oh, you're back here.
The people of Southgand originally worshipped Aminoch, the Empyrean of Water. The lives of the people of the Southern Isles are inherently tied to the sea. Whether it was gratitude for a good catch or
You know,
an appeal
apropos
for
of nothing,
protection, everyone offered their prayers
I've been
to
thinking
Aminoch.
about
But the Abbey worships
updating
Anominar,
my
don't they?
on
Do the people still keep their
stream
faith?
chat box.
Most of the
I need
people obey
to
the will
get
of
something
the
better.
Abbey.
And
But one
for
small
anyone that
village
may
deep
pay
in
attention to
Southgand is a
Freya
special
on
case.
Twitter,
The
who
village is
has
called
made a tremendous
Havia,
number of my
and
assets.
even
I
now
know
they keep
I know
their
Vex, you
faith
use
in
some of her
Aminoch.
assets as well.
They've
She has
even
been
quarreled with the Abbey. I'm
posting
grateful
up
that they fought off the demons.
mock-ups
I really
of
am. But do
some
they have to
excellent
dictate which
looking
gods we worship to?
chat
They think they do.
blurbs.
It's their truth.
And I'm
Then again,
so
they
salty
can't
that
control
she
what's in your
doesn't yet
heart,
have
can they?
somebody to actually code them up. So like she does the mock-up and they look fantastic. But I'm like, will somebody please help her? Will somebody please code those chat widgets? For God's sake, I want to buy them.
Take a look at this.
Quitting is the
They
same
do
as
look
defeat.
great. She has several and I want them. I'm so salty. The thing about Freya is that she is largely busy, and if she does open up comms for most things, they are snapped up almost instantly. Because if I were going to have anybody do like a legitimate overlay set, it would definitely be Freya. The problem is that I essentially can't accommodate doing non-animated overlays, and she opens up animated overlays relatively infrequently because they're just a lot of work. And every time she opens up any commissions at all, they're snapped up immediately. It's almost like, I mean, obviously it's in no way my place, but it's like I have a hard time believing that she couldn't make it full time doing commissions based on, like, she could up her prices a little bit. She could have them more, like, largely available and open, and then she'd have more time to get more commissions done. I know that's, like, a scary thing to do, so she can do whatever she wants. But I'm like, man, I would love to have some custom Freya stuff. I mean, obviously, I have my logo. Freya did my logo, and it's delightful, and I love it. But I would gladly have her do the rest of my... Oh, am I just looking at on the beach? I would gladly have her do the rest of my stuff. Because the thing is, well, it's not obvious at the moment because I am playing a game that's only up in 1080. I'm really curious to see what sort of overlay somebody might make for 21:9 aspect ratio. I mean, largely it's just a bar at the bottom, to be fair, but I don't see very many people making custom overlays in that resolution because, well, most people don't regularly stream in that aspect ratio, but if a game supports it, I will stream the 21:9.
Teresa will be leaving our island.
I'm a little relieved to
the
tell you
ultra
truth.
wide.
She was a
And
bit
I've never
too
seen
strict
anybody with an
for a free
interesting
soul
like
me.
custom overlay for
Could melt her
21:9.
icy cold personality.
But strict as she was also fair. She never asked anyone to do what she wouldn't do herself. Even when we were fighting with Haria Village over the temple,
I did see
she
that.
kept her cool and listened to what they had to say.
I
If it wasn't
also
for her, we'd probably still be squabbling with Haria.
That's true.
I also grabbed
really
and
need to
sort of
take over the temple
bookmarked
for themselves?
a guy who
pretty, too.
does.
Sorry
Oh, you're
to
on the wait
whoever
list.
takes her place.
Who does
She's the
like
only
legit,
exorcist for
just
me. Lady
custom
Teresa Linares,
music
you are our
comms.
protector. Yeah, we need the chilly charms
And
of the
I
frozen queen
essentially
to
just
cool
have
down
to
the
get to the
heat in
point where I'm
Southgate.
sufficiently motivated to pay
way
for
those
some
ice-cold
custom
eyes
music.
of hers look down at me
Because
with
I do like the
disdain,
idea of
like I
being
was
able
something
to
filthy.
submit
Teresa
a
forever.
variety
Wow.
of
There's one in every town.
you know, like samples of like these are the things that I like this and this and this and this. Like, God knows I have plenty of those from Monster Cat that I am using. Granted, I also just like the music that I use now, so I'm not like enormously motivated to go get my custom music made. But that being the case, the person that I was paying attention to, like, the cost was really not crazy. I think I want to say it was like maybe it was like $50 per minute, or maybe it was $50 per 30 seconds of composed music. And I'm like, I don't know, that seems like, get yourself a 3-minute audio clip. Actually, I think it might have been $50 per minute, maybe, because I was like thinking about like 5-minute song being something like $250 maybe. I was like, that's not that bad. Just like get a nice custom soundtrack for like my starting soon. I feel like that's where it would be best served, right? Just because I'm kind of always on that screen for at least 5 minutes. Yeah, and loopable is a huge plus. But yeah, or you can just do like 90 seconds loopable and like you're golden. I don't know where this stupid thing is that I'm supposed to find. I'm only half paying attention because I'm far more interested in the conversation than searching this boring beach for some stupid Malik who's... Oh, I know it's gonna be dumb, because Bien Phu's gonna show up and be an idiot. I will say the mystery bag is also just kind of fun. I will definitely not discount the fact that that's just fun. Like, that is a fun prospect of just like, what might we get? Oh, there's this person.
Southgan lumber exports have been on the rise, but so has the popularity of Southgan cuisine.
Like
Stream
Pengyong?
Cafe.
Pengyongs are our flagship food, and our Pengyong farms are flourishing.
I am amused by this game that they just went for it and they're like, hey, look, we've got adorable penguins. They're food. They're like, oh no.
Very juicy. They're the perfect refreshment.
They're
on a hot day.
delicious.
They're that fruit that glows in the dark, right? Also known as candle fruit?
That's the one. And now banana nuts. They're soft, sweet, and filling when eaten raw. But if you dry them out, they get crunchy, like peanuts. And they stay good for years. Southgand is pretty well off compared to other places. The fish are plentiful, and the trees are heavy with fruit.
And that makes me
That's why
think
I'm
of all of
shipping the excess to other
the Twitter
towns.
posts.
This guy here, he's a true sailor.
Yeah, good luck.
Of people, you know, like, oh, drop your PNG and I'll
I appreciate
give you my
it.
impressions or give you the, and like, I find those, I am of like a mixed mind on those because I think they're fun, but I almost never submit my PNG to them. One, because I don't really have a very solid PNG art at the moment, but far more importantly, like, I feel like they end up being shallow under most circumstances, and not as like a dig to anybody, but because they end up with like hundreds of responses, and I'm like, I don't really want to contribute to the noise because it's not a particularly meaningful interaction, and I just don't feel like dealing with it. I mean, more power to everybody who wants to participate. Go for it. But I'm just like, I'll spend my energy elsewhere. The only one that will always get me, essentially. The thing is like, they're not without their value from, you know, a variety of ways. I have met a few, too. The ones that really catch my attention are the ones that are sort of like direct networking around a theme. Because I like, no, you can post, links. I don't care. I have had no reason as of yet to not allow links, so I continue to allow links. I have met a few cool people. I like to go to the ones that are around a theme that are like, hey, you know, cyberpunk style or AI style or, you know, whatever style VTubers, because I'll be honest, I really like finding more AI themed VTubers. It's my jam. It's where I like to operate. The thing is I have had far better luck finding sort of meaningful people sort of sleuthing through small, like, actively streaming VTubers. Because I find an enormous amount of value in vibe checking. Because I personally don't hold a lot of value in finding people to talk to on Twitter, because that's not where I put any energy at all. My Twitter is essentially my information network. Like, I go to Twitter to find things out about people, to find new people to potentially follow and look into, and like asset makers and all of that stuff. That's my use of Twitter. My typical go-to is I actually go sleuthing, especially after I've finished streaming, because then I see people online who are likely to be online when I'm wrapping up, so to potentially raid. And I will just, like, sleuth through dozens of tiny VTubers to just vibe check and find people that I'm like, this is an interesting person. And, you know, then I just kind of keep track of them. And I'm like, oh, I like the way this person, you know, carries themselves and whatnot. I found a few through Twitter like that. The networking ones are useful for that. The problem is I get more use out of them in following other people, not so much like posting up in hopes that people follow me, because I'm not terribly interested in like shallow follows, which is predominantly what you're going to get right out of Twitter. Is you might get a follow, but that person that followed is very unlikely to ever actually show up and follow or like come and hang out on stream and actually talk and view. And so I'm like, I'm not really interested in artificially inflating. It's not artificial, but like, I don't really care about increasing my follower count when it's not commensurately increasing my viewership. But that's just me. Because I just want people to show up and hang out. I don't care about ultimately my numbers. My goals are small. Yeah, exactly. Like quality over quantity. I don't need to get to 500 or 1,000 followers. I want people to show up. Yeah, the people that follow and then unfollow, it's like, whatever. I'm annoyed. I don't know where this idiot is on the beach. I'm tired of running around aimlessly. And the thing is if people want to put a little bit of effort in there, it's not to say that there are no returns, because you will occasionally get one. I'm just not interested in putting my effort into it. I can't be bothered. That's largely my motto, is I just can't be bothered. What about over there? Maybe it's over there. But I will always, you know, be pleased when I can manage to find interesting people from introductories. I'm pretty sure that's how I found you, Vex. I'm pretty sure I came across you on Twitter first, and then I went and I dug through and checked on the Twitch. The thing is I feel like an absolute anomaly in the fact that I do actually, after finding someone on Twitter, go to their Twitch. Nobody seems to do that. Yes, I of course have the benefit of like a real full-time job. Yeah. A lot of people have the sort of all or nothing attitude where it's like, if you can't make it the full-blown streamer experience, then it's not worth doing. And then, you know, some people, the thing is, so on that subject though, I do think it legitimately helps people's growth in the sense that some people find themselves in a tough spot where, like, they have to make it work, right? Like, sometimes that extra piece of motivation because, you know, you lost your job or whatever, like, so you've got a lot of time and a lot of energy and you just hit it hard and you run, and that can work. Not to say that it will always work, but that does help. I will say that, of course, my degree of complacency and laziness has certainly not helped me grow. If I tried harder, I would probably grow faster. But I don't have to, so I don't. So that's, you know, that's where I find myself. And as long as I don't complain about being too small, then I don't think there's any problem with that. The problem is the people that don't put any effort and then are also going to complain about, like, well, why isn't it working? It's like, well, I'm not trying that hard, honestly. Yeah, we don't feel urgent. Like, there's no sense of urgency. Where is this stupid person? I'm so tired of looking for this idiot. Where are you? Search for the idiot on the beach. I hate it here. Wait, is this not the beach? Do I have to go into the field out here? It's not in the town, is it? I'm so upset. I bet it's not here. Yeah, you know, Kappa, I say that about being able to buy cool assets, and then I proceeded to not buy assets, and I worked my ass off, and I freaking made my own model like a idiot.
So this is Muckler Beach.
I'm so upset that this is the damn beach.
Don't get careless.
I should have known. I mean, yes, you did buy yours from me. What's kind of funny to me is that I made more money making that character model than I have streaming the entire time. So it's like I'm more legitimately a professional artist than I am a streamer, and I don't know how to feel about that. Like, how the hell did that happen?
Did you think you could escape me?
Like, the amount of time I've put into streaming and the small amount I have made. And then, I mean, granted, it all kind of feeds into me learning to make the model. I know. Honestly, it was that very particular commission that has now disallowed me from the claim that I am not an artist. So, I streamed a little bit making the model, Vex. The problem is, I'm boring as hell when I'm making a model. Because it takes me... It's not that it takes me longer to do it than someone who's you know, drawing it and stuff. It's just, well, let me say it this way. I do all of the artwork, I have air quotes, with a mouse and a keyboard. I can't draw. Oh, your model, Kappa? I mean, I guess I could do a quick model showcase. I have other models that I have made. I am just absolutely being savaged right now. I'm gonna die because for some reason, yeah, this game doesn't let you heal when you have a freaking status effect. Stupid. I mean, that's fair. I am pleased with how well I matched the reference. So I was very not confident going into that I was going to be able to match a reference. But it went dramatically better than I thought. Ow. Yeah. All right, I do like the fact that I can more easily use spells. All right, hold on. Let me... In honor of that, it's a good point. Let's pull up the other models I have made because it'll be fun. All right, hold on. Let me... Which one did you see, Vex? Was it the space-themed one, the Stella? Where's my camera? Hide. Let me see. Yeah. There we go. Doo-doo-doo. Yeah, I can pull that one up in a second as well. I will say, I am quite pleased with that one. Although it's also a little bit annoying. Oh, you don't normally have the audio thing. So this is the model I made for Kappa. It's a nice little model. I don't know if I actually have... Oh, I do still have the hotkeys. Yay. Yay. Oh. Yeah, without the ring. The ring is technically not... These, I still stand by, though, that these are the best eyes that I've made up to this point. I'm very pleased with the eyes on this one. Yeah, those are my greatest achievement as far as eyes are concerned. I think those worked very well. I also have almost like a little Easter egg on the back. It's a little animated gizmo. That is true. We did have to consider that. But yeah, pretty good model. I'm quite pleased. Merp. All right. Now, hide you again. That's an excellent explanation. Oh yeah, so here's the one that it sounds like you have seen, Vex, which I am still quite pleased with this model. This one was honestly just me experimenting with some tools that I hadn't been using in Unity, and so I was kind of doing a little bit of experimenting. And honestly, I did not work very hard on it. It did not take me nearly as long as any of the other models. Granted, I did steal a bunch of space textures just from, like, Google Images, so I have no idea where most of the space textures came for this, which is honestly the huge amount of time saving that I got. But it was slightly annoying how much more attention this model has gotten than the ones that I spent a lot more time on, just because this one is so absurdly eye-catching. It really did work out quite nicely. Hey, Mocha. I'm Stella right now. Hi, Mocha. I'm cosplaying as Stella momentarily as we look at the other models that I have made. I do still have plans to make a similar AI-themed model for Mocha. But Mocha is actually a lot harder to convert to an AI form, so I have not yet sat down to do it. Also, I've been extremely distracted by playing Xenoblade Chronicles 3 when I'm not streaming, so I've been doing a lot of that instead of things like making models, so, you know, that'll happen. But yeah, this is a good one. Kitty ear headphones to light up? Yeah. Anyway. Back to the me that we're used to. There we go. Ta-da! Yeah, see, I have to keep them shiny, or else people realize that I can't draw. So, it is a fairly amusing sort of story how my sort of model style has developed, because it's all strictly me trying to make something that works out while avoiding the things that I'm absolutely terrible at. So, for instance, I can't do, like, shading or blending or any sort of actual skin drawing. Like, I can't draw people. So, I had to come up with a style of model art that allowed me to not worry about skin tones. So, here we are with a... Exactly, no facial features or shading. Pure black, void-style background with concise lines. Like, straight things that can be drawn. I did start doing a bit of shading on yours. That is true. I have continued to sort of branch out little by little as I continue to make new models. But, like, similarly why I don't really have any hair, well, one, I couldn't really get V-Roid Studio to work with me for something I was happy with. But it was harder to work with hair in V-Roid Studio, so I made do without it, and I figured out a way to do something that still looked good while avoiding that particular thing that I didn't know how to do properly. It's all about working within limitations.
Did you see that? I beat it!
But yeah, like every time I make an update to my model, it just ends up a little bit more complicated and a little more interesting in various ways.
This grimoire who we're searching for is a Moloch like Bienfu, right? To be honest, I don't see how someone so different can be a Moloch just the same as Laphicet or Aizen.
I understand your doubts. It's quite the tangly mess.
V-Roid hair is a pain in the rear.
I've been wondering.
My greatest accomplishment is managing to get those rings made out of hair, which was kind of a pain.
But that ribbon flaps around and gets in the way, right? Could I take it off for you?
That's possibly a little known fact. I mean, I'm sure nobody really thinks about it of what any of my stuff is made out of, but those rings up there are in fact V-Roid hair, or rather at one point were V-Roid hair. And it was not easy to make happen. I will say, people who legitimately work with V-Roid, like the real practitioners, can do incredible things with the V-Roid hair. It's unbelievable the degree to which, you know, a true artiste of V-Roid can accomplish.
As a convenient power-up.
It's amazing.
Common spirits.
Don't even say that! We Norman hate being called that.
Why is it so painful?
Like, I have generally gone, for most of the other things, I've gone a slightly different tactic in that I use a lot of
does explain your quirky speaking
simple
mannerisms.
shapes in Unity itself that I add. So rather than going through and trying to use the hair, I just send it into Unity and I start making things out of shapes. So, like, for instance, let's see, let me zoom in here. So, like, one big one is that the eyes on this model are, in fact, like, stacked planes. Like, I do actually have three-dimensional eye elements. I'm trying to get looking enough to the side. So, like, rather than working with, you know, actual art that would require me to be good at drawing irises, I went a different tactic, which is to make the eyes, you know, simple shapes that are more interesting. But, you know, the end results are all that really matters, and I'm quite pleased with the way things have shaped up. I do really like your model, though, Vex. I will say that. See, like, seeing your model, it's like, ah, yes, my model could have looked something like that if I knew how to draw. Like, because there's a lot of similarities, and I'm just like, ah, yes, what could have been if only I didn't suck at drawing. Man, the models Marrow makes is freaking awesome. Like, she definitely comes to mind when I say people who are like legitimately good at working in Vroid. I'm actually thinking pretty soon, specifically once I get my hand tracking working, I'm thinking about sitting down and actually making a YouTube video of talking about how anybody that aims to use Vroid Studio should go through the extra little bit of effort to use Unity as well. Because there are certainly plenty of guides out there of like how to do a lot of stuff, but I feel like people might not realize how simple some of the Unity things are that you can do that give you some very incredible options, especially if you're aware of it before you start working in Vroid Studio. Because there are a few things that you can do like beforehand to make your life ultimately easier and your end results better.
That's... well...
Because there's one thing that I don't think Marrow does in Unity. I could be wrong, but based on the fact that Marrow actually draws on, like, in Vroid, which is absolutely unbelievable to me that she can do as effectively as she does in Vroid. It's baffling to me.
Look how much they
But
care about their young.
one thing that I found great benefit of
They taste amazing.
was actually increasing, excuse me, increasing the resolution of textures. Because Vroid outputs all of the resolutions for the textures at a pretty mediocre size that can be very easily improved as long as you are aware of it like before drawing the textures so that you don't have to go back and redraw the textures. I had to go back and redraw the textures, and it was hours of work. But so, for instance, the texture that goes onto the body of a Vroid. The thing is, I will say that for real drawings, it's a lot harder because it is very challenging to match shapes when you're working on, like, the texture rolled out and made flat, right? Because that's how I work on drawing stuff for the model textures. And if you're trying to do, like, actual proper curves, that becomes much more challenging. However, I would say that it's probably worth trying to do, like, the sketch in Vroid, exporting the texture, and then touching it up to be higher resolution. Because, so Vroid, for instance, the body texture that Vroid puts out is 2048 by 2048. For comparison, the texture that Vroid puts out for the face is 1024 by 1024. Both of those are too low. But you'll notice that the face at 1024 by 1024 has a lot more pixels per inch to, like, look sharp than the body. So the body ends up actually looking relatively fuzzy. Now, if you're, you know, good at drawing, and things are actually blended better, a lot of that can be masked. But like for my model, I went back and I quadrupled the texture size. So the texture size on my model's face is 4096 by 4096, and the body is 8140 whatever. I don't feel like doing the math now. So it's like 8K by 8K, which allows it to be far, far, far sharper. I mean, for instance, right? There is a reason that I can actually zoom in all the way and all of my lines are still sharp. And that's one of the things that I think are unfortunately limited in Vroid. Like, that's just an unfortunate aspect of Vroid itself, that it just puts out textures that are simply lower resolution than they need to be. And it's unfortunate, because I think you can get a lot better, sharper results. And I think that small piece, I think that small piece can really, really help elevate those sort of like Vroid plus models, if you will, right? Like not straight out of Vroid, but just a little tweak to the texture can really help the models sort of, play with the like full custom 3D models that people get, like Lena Lezar, Silverveil, like the big names that really, like, you look at those models and you're like, boy, those textures are incredible. I think Vroid is unnecessarily holding people back, that you could relatively easily adjust the texture and just get some banging results. Now, I would not suggest that my model hangs with the big ones, because I had to overcome too many limitations in my inability to do art. However, the textures are sharp, and I'm gonna take that one as a win. And honestly, knowing that, like, that's one of the things that actually is most impressive to me about Mero's models, and like, because I see her draw directly on the Vroid. I don't see her touching up the textures, and they still look clean as shit. I'm like, how does she do that? Because, like, I started watching her make models, like, after I already knew about sort of the, what I would consider need to upscale the resolution of the textures out of Vroid. And she's still making banging models. I'm like, god damn. How? Yeah, so that small tweak is one of the things that I want to make a video about. I know, she has magic, literally. Is one of the things I want to add into a little video about why you should easily, like, you should learn Unity if you're using Vroid, because you can just do some very simple things to really elevate the model. There's that. There's,
No, just a big lizard demon.
Easily animating textures so that you can have movement on your model. So I think that's really important. I think that's a huge differentiator, and one of the reasons live 2D models look so nice, right? They have passive movement. Things happen on a Vroid. There's like slight movement, swaying, breathing. A little bit of movement, even if you're perfectly still, goes a long way. And so, of course, mine are all animation-based. Little moving bits and bobs. But, you know, there's lots of things you could do. Like, you could do snow, you could do rain elements. There's the addition of the extra simple shapes, especially the use of planes, which I know I'm pretty sure your model has some, like the expressions, right? Being able to have, you know, the musical notes or the hearts or the things around the faces. I think that's a huge benefit and really, really, really simple to implement. Like anybody making themselves a V-Roid should be aware of that because it's easy and looks very nice. See, what's the last thing? Oh, the improved ability to add more stuff and have more control in your blend shapes. Because that's another easy one, so that you can have stuff that like can change from transparent to not transparent. You can have things appear, disappear, shift textures, you know, all kinds of stuff. Those are my four propaganda points for Unity with V-Roid. Oh, that's another one. That's the AR kit tracking is something that I have not yet gotten to doing. I know how to do the AR kit. I just have not coughed up the money to get the and by the money I mean like the $10 to get the tool to add the AR kit blend shapes. Part of that is because I don't actually have an iPhone for tracking. Yeah, the Hannah Tool app is exactly what I have not sort of picked up. I don't have an iPhone for tracking, though. I do know that there is a moderate, I don't know, similar thing on Android. It's not as good. Yeah, Meowface. I do, in fact, I have Meowface downloaded. I just have not sort of taken that step to sit down and really do it and see how the results are. I literally have all of the pieces. I even have an actual phone holder now to, like, have the phone as the camera, and I just haven't. Again, I really got caught up playing Xenoblade Chronicles 3. It's very good, and it sucks hours upon hours of my life. And I love all of it because I don't mind the hours that it has sucked from me. Because it's a good game. But yeah, that's kind of coming down the line. I sort of decided to deal with the AR kit stuff and Meowface sort of post
right?
hand tracking. Like I just received, I mentioned earlier on in stream that I just received my Stereo IR 170 today for hand tracking. So now I have to go through the trouble of like setting it up and figuring out how I need to position it for tracking and junk.
Ah, you two. Still as outlandish a pair
Yeah,
as
so
ever, I see.
like that's the next big undertaking. It's like it's one model undertaking at a time.
She was an upperclassman.
And
we found this fascinating ancient tome, and we were hoping you could read it for us.
Goodness, Magilu. You of all people joining
Why does the weird little cat thing have the like
well, I don't need entertainment.
Like I don't the mommy voice. I don't understand.
Isn't there any way you can help us?
It's true. I was really curious about some of the other styles of like hand tracking that could be accomplished and stuff,
we tried,
but
didn't we?
so many of them are based on using like a VR setup
Incentivize
that I don't really feel like having
I'm
to
serious.
go through that
bet
much
you
trouble.
are.
I'm like, I'd much rather have the Leap style hand tracking. They do
Your
both
eyes
have
tell
the
me you're dangerous.
sort of low
Trouble
emotion
follows
voice,
you
don't
like
they?
A hawk tails a rabbit.
And it might also
And at
be,
my age,
it could
trouble is
hypothetically be
something I'd
exactly the
rather
same person.
avoid.
How old are you?
Ask me again and you'll get a firework in the tush.
My apologies.
It appears
Hey.
we've wasted our time.
A walk on the beach is never wasted, but sorry.
Well, how did you learn to read the ancient tongue? Are there books for studying it or something?
My.
Gotta get on
Are
Duolingo,
you
my
actually
man.
thinking of learning it on your own?
Well,
I'm sure there's
I
a
love
Duolingo
reading, and I
course
wanna
on
learn
the
more about
ancient tongue.
history. Besides, we need what's in this book.
Oh
You
man,
have passion, child. I'll give you
that's a
that.
great idea. Has Duolingo ever
Not to
done like an
mention you
April
wanna be helpful
Fool's
to
of
Velvet,
like
don't you, kid?
deep speech as an option for an April Fool's? That would be so funny to me.
My tuition isn't cheap, you know.
You will teach me?
No, I won't.
What?
But I admire your dedication enough to read it for you. Now where's this book?
Wait, she's like, fine, I'll read it.
Here it
Yeah,
is,
like
ma'am.
Klingon or something. Well, see, the
You
problem with
needn't be
Klingon
so
is that, like, I think you can you can actually learn Klingon, so they would actually have to, like, do the research and set it up properly.
not
With deep
ma'am.
speech,
Right.
you just throw in your Cthulhu's, your
Let's
Fatagans, your
see what we're
EAEAs,
looking
and
at
you're good enough. Like, you can get away with just doing that for an April Fool's.
The language of ancient Averost.
I wouldn't be
Had to
surprised,
the hard
Vex.
one, of course. A lot of wear and tear, too. This'll
That
take
and
some
Elvish,
time.
both. Like, legitimate
We're in a
languages
hurry.
you could just learn if you feel like it.
That may well be, but this isn't the place for study. Let's move to someplace more comfortable.
I mean, the beach seems nice.
You've redeemed yourself, young man. There's a village called Haria just a little ways away.
That works. Thank you.
Fine.
Crazy
Haria
grin.
Village. Whatever gets the job done.
I mean, that would be pretty funny if they just did Duolingo Elvish.
I apologize if I'm being rude, but I have to ask. You're not Aminoch the Empyrean, are you?
Of course I'm not. What would even make you ask such a
She's
thing?
lazing around
was selling Aminoch
even in
figurines
these
that looked
conversations.
just like you.
Oh.
I will say that she is
I distinctly remember
absolutely,
whispering to the shopkeeper
infinitely
in his sleep, telling him not to sell those
more
things.
You showing up
enjoyable to talk to and listen to than Bienfu.
he was a real deal. You should sue for his
Bienfu, you are garbage.
compensation from that
You are absolute just
Forget it.
scum.
It's
You are
no
a worm in comparison to Grimoire. And Grimoire is only like acceptable.
sell anyway.
Oh, you think a figurine of mine wouldn't sell?
Grimoire is just channeling my I'm done with this shit straight into the game.
Figurine needs to be cute, like me.
Then how about I turn you into a product?
I would rather you turn him into a corpse.
Oh yes, I'll have you stuffed and mounted. But
This is
since it'd be a
acceptable.
unique piece, I'd have to price it a bit higher.
Mounted? No.
Wait, that's the concern? Hold on.
You're no fun.
My man Bienfu
Now,
here
what
seems
was
to
it
be
we were
all
talking
aboard for
about?
being stuffed.
Whether or not you
Mounted
are
is where he
Imperial
draws the
Aminoch.
line.
Ah, yes.
That's a little
right.
weird, my man.
I'm no Empyrean. I'm just a simple girl. It would be hard for anyone to worship an Empyrean like me, right?
They are really
That's
similar.
true.
You're right, Kappa.
I mean, it just seems like you're the type who can see through anything, so perhaps an Empyrean
I am a
seems
little
less
confused why
intimidating
everybody is so
from a
absurdly
certain
intimidated
point of
by the tiny
You're saying
stuffed
I'm scarier than an
witch-padded
Empyrean?
goofball.
Not scarier.
Hey,
exactly,
Snowball.
Just more of a savvy sort of woman.
It's not a bad answer, but it won't get you out of the doghouse.
How's it going? Thanks for the sub. We got a baker's dozen of months now. I need to turn that up a little bit. It was a little quiet to me. Although it seems like the alternative is just blowing the eardrums off of everybody else.
That Oscar and
So,
Teresa
you
were
know,
talking about?
I think it
Rocking
might
a hard
be.
place and such.
We should remain on our guard.
Hey, we're doing pretty good. We are tolerating Tales of Berseria. It was not quiet for you guys. I don't know what the.
One and all. Always be on guard.
You know, honestly, it kind of makes me wonder if my adjuster over here actually adjusts it for stream, or if it just adjusts it into my ears. Maybe that's what it is. I might have to do more experimentation. Yeah, today we're trying to decide if Tales of Berseria is interesting enough for me to continue playing it next week. That's where we're at. It has not yet redeemed itself. Because I could probably just be having a better time playing something else. What that something else will be, I don't quite yet know yet. I might actually play Stray, now that, like, am I close to the end? I have no idea. I don't think I'm close to the end. Based on the absolutely glacial pace that the story has moved, I assume not. But yeah, I feel like the immediate rush of people to play Stray has kind of slowed down a little bit. I know I've been playing for so long. I've been playing for quite a few weeks, but I haven't put an enormous amount of time into it. I think I've really only put maybe 20 hours into the game as of now, which, not to say 20 hours is not, like, a good chunk of time. But for these games, it's probably like 45 hours long. Yeah, thanks for hanging out, Vex. I every time that you continued to respond, I was still surprised that you had not had to go and get some sleep or whatever. But I appreciate you having hung out for so long. I hope you can continue to survive the heat. Or that the heat goes away, really, is the bigger one. Is this a fancy guy? Yeah, it's gotta be a boss-ish. Oh, my health, it's absolutely been evaporated. Well, I'm dead. Didn't help. But yeah, now that, like, that initial rush of people trying to play Stray is over, it's getting to be the perfect time for me to maybe pick it up and take my hand at playing through it. Because it does look like fun. I was very careful to avoid any spoilers of people playing through it, so that I have no idea of anything that occurs. The only thing that I did learn is that it is apparently far more like cyberpunk themed than I knew. Because honestly, I knew nothing about Stray aside from, it's a cat game, which seems to have been its entire marketing strategy, which was shockingly effective. I don't know what else to say about it. It was just like, hey guys, cat game, and everybody lost their freaking minds. I mean, shockingly, it seems to still actually be a good game. Because, like, reviews have been, you know, overwhelmingly positive, which, I mean, is great. Good job marketing and also not making a shit game. But it's like, I don't know, it really had no right being as good as it was, apparently. But, you know, great. I'm glad to see more good, sort of different style games. So maybe I'll pick that up. And how am I just taking thousands of damage just out of the blue? I go from full health to absolutely deceased in a single attack. I'm just being deleted. Hold on, I need that. Thank you. Yeah, I have also seen there's some advertising for a rat game that I don't know. I mean, it's a different studio as far as I know, but amusingly, I saw them tweet, like, the exact quote, like, you played the cat game, now look forward to the rat game. And it's, you know, playing as a rat, similarly to the way Stray was, so. I don't know, I like rats. See how that shapes up. As far as I know, you do not spread the plague in that game. On the subject of the plague, however, October, the next Plague Tale is coming out. And also, I always love being able to segue by saying, speaking of the plague. What a fun segue. But yeah, in October, the next Plague Tale's coming out, which I'm actually really looking forward to because I really liked the first Plague Tale, and I also thought that it was a really good time as a stream game specifically. I think it was a very good time on stream, and so I am looking forward to the chance of doing that again with the new one. Oh, I've been wasting time because I have things I could be learning. Won't miss not having to fuss with all of this equipment. Is it only the amphibole? Oh, and the jet black. That's fine. Pendant? Yeah, pendant. Talisman. Yeah, talisman. Okay, there we go. So there's so Twitter, I don't know what is up with the stuff that ends up on my Twitter timeline, but it turns into being a lot of really weird possible games upcoming from indie devs and or, I don't know, like tech demos. There's also a crazy game that I've seen sort of running around of like a squirrel with a gun where you steal from people. I'm like, what is this? But it looks also really funny.
Huh. I didn't know you could see the world in
The
more than just
freaking squirrel with the gun is
Abby wouldn't entrust my
amazing.
responsibilities to someone who couldn't see beyond the surface. I have seen many
It
things.
especially impresses with the animations that the squirrel moves around with, like with the gun, because it really does look like a squirrel with a normal-sized gun,
away from the wrongs
just
that I encounter.
poking
Moreover,
about.
I have
He
faith.
moves
I
really
believe there is
well.
good in all our souls.
The darkness, huh?
Yes, like you.
You're awfully direct.
Just hug. Yeah, he's hugging that gun. He has to run a little bit like straddle leg to try to get around the gun. It's really well animated, and I hope that turns into like a legitimate game that I can buy and play because it will be funny. I also get stuff on my Twitter timeline that is, I'm far less. I have seen the Goose Game played, Actually, I watched Kappa play Goose Game. In the days when we were, like, proto-streaming on Discord to each other. We weren't streaming. We would just stream to each other and hang out. But yeah, I watched Kappa play the Goose Game. But there's another, what looks far more like an tech demo / animation project sort of thing than like maybe a legitimate game. But there's this weird thing that comes across my feed a lot of somebody making what appears to be a fighting game where you play as a tank, but you don't fight like a normal tank. You do weird, like you use the barrel of the cannon on the tank, kind of like you would a staff, to like pick yourself up and kick? Is it called kicking when you hit someone with the treads on a tank? Like, just flailing around in very fighter-y style animations. It actually looks kind of awesome. I have no way of describing it, however. It's bizarre, and I'm like, boy, I hope that kind of turns into a real thing. How do I not have these already? Oh, amphibole bag. Oh, amphibole boots. Give me those. Do I need more life bottles? Yeah, I might as well buy it. I only bought one. Give me 2. Thank you. Is a puzzle game where you're a mouse rat? What game's that? Hold on, there's a thing back here. Give me that. Give me all this crap. Wait. There's like an exclamation mark to talk to. Where are you? Why am I even bothering? I don't care. I don't care what anybody has to say. You are all lame. Find an inn and begin deciphering. Okay. We just want to go to the inn. Cat box. I found a cat. Ooh, aviator sunglasses. Hold on. The Spirit and the Mouse. I don't think I've heard of that. Sunglasses to aviator sunglasses. You know what? I don't think those are better. I like the sunglasses. Stick it with the sunglasses. Let me in.
We could use a place to stay. Any rooms open?
Yep. Just finished cleaning, in fact.
Yay.
You can help yourself to that room there.
Okay.
All right, time to start deciphering this scroll.
Let's wait somewhere outside so Grim can concentrate.
Do you think maybe I could stay and watch? I really
As
do
long
want
as
to
you're
study
silent.
the ancient tongue. I promise I'll be quiet and not get in your way, teacher.
What did you just say,
Oh,
child?
is that might very much be the exact game that I was talking about. I hadn't
No,
I was
what
unfamiliar
did
with
you
the name
call
of it.
me?
I just knew it as like the rat game.
You said you didn't want to be called ma'am.
Maybe that's the one I was thinking of.
so I thought maybe that.
Maybe they said mouse. I don't know.
Yes,
Maybe there's two
satisfactory.
angling on that particular
I'll teach you how to read ancient Avarost.
Thank you so much, teacher.
Marketing
We'll leave you two
tact.
alone, then. Let us know if anything comes up.
Listen, I don't know what they told you in Isolde, but our village has its own traditions. This village is under the divine protection of the Empyrean Aminoch. For unbroken centuries, a line of his priestesses have guided us. They're
Narrative
tasked with
adventure.
performing the sacred
I guess, I
rites
mean,
of
that's
worship.
kind of what you would
And
probably
sometimes
call
they even
Stray.
deliver us his words and will.
And there's still
I
a priestess
would think.
today.
Of
Granted, I
course.
haven't
And
watched
her
it.
daughter is training to become
Yeah,
our
yeah, yeah.
next priestess.
Good way to describe Stray.
Although
Yeah.
I sometimes feel they push themselves too hard. Both mother and daughter.
Honestly,
are giving
I'm
their
kind
all
of
for
on
Haria,
board with
but the Abbey doesn't care about any
if
of that.
Stray has a little
And they
bit of an
stole our
influence
temple from
on,
us
you know,
by
what
force.
games are being
An
made.
exorcist named Teresa came and heard us out.
If there
But
are a
from the
few
very
more
beginning,
games
she always intended on
like
taking our
that,
temple. Her
I mean, I'm
words may
kind of
have
on
been
board with
kind,
that.
But that doesn't change the fact that she demanded that we worship her God.
I like a good narrative
Nominat.
adventure.
In all the years we've worshipped Aminoch, not
Because I would
once did
describe
we ever try to
Plague
force
Tale as a
others to
narrative
adopt
adventure,
our
too.
beliefs.
Why haven't I seen this priestess she's talking about?
Yeah. Also, like, playing as an animal, playing as cute stuff. I mean, I'm on board. More playing as interesting
So
animals.
she digs being called
I'm on
teacher.
board.
Well played, Laffy said.
She wasn't so fond of ma'am, so I guess he figured he needed an alternative.
You can tell how badly he wanted to help her with the languagey work. I think our Malak boy's finally finding himself.
So it would seem.
Arari? I'm not sure I'm familiar with the word Araris. Can you hit me with a definition? Get back out there.
What connection do you think there is between
I
the
mean,
violent demon
that's a
Teresa
decent
mentioned and this
50-50 split
village?
there,
Couldn't
Scobalts.
tell you.
Could there have been a demon blight breakout here? This village doesn't look like it's been attacked, but...
Whatever it is. If it keeps the Abbey's eyes off us for once, that's good enough for me.
You really will use anything and everything towards your own aims, won't
I'm just
you?
not sure how that
Yeah,
would jive
and
with
that includes
should
you,
have been stories.
As I'm sure you've noticed.
Yeah. Oh, I see what you're saying. Araris should have been stories. I'm on top of it. It was a mistype. I gotcha. I misunderstood the series of comments that just occurred. We're on the same page.
Banning local
It was.
religions. The Abbey sure knows how to oppress the populace.
I'd imagine that comes part and parcel with spreading the good word. Other gods would only get in the way.
From what we overheard, it sounds like they've taken over Aminoch's temple,
Yeah, 'cause-
Palamedes, to use as their base of operations.
Sealing it off would be provocative enough.
Honestly,
But
the
straight up taking it
the
over,
more you play
not a lot of so-called
sort of
reason to that.
overblown,
Unless- Do you think they need it for some other
overextended JRPGs, you kind of get an appreciation for more 10 to 15 hour games with a solid paced story. Like that, there's no shame in making a shorter game if you're just going to deliver the story in a better, a better way. I'm too old for this. I need an hour for every
like
dollar I
deciphering
spent
the
on a
text
game.
might
I'm
take
too
some
old for
time.
that shit.
We should be prepared to wait
I just
out
want
for
it to
a
be
while.
paced better.
Hopefully it'll all be worth it in the end.
I hope so too. But ancient Avarost is complex.
So stuff like
It's not just a
Plague
matter of knowing
Tale,
the grammar and vocabulary.
Oh,
Sin of
then how
Sacrifice,
exactly do you
Sinuous
read it?
I'm not
Sacrifice,
sure about the specifics myself.
presumably
but from
Stray.
what I
Haven't played it,
understand,
but
you kind of have
by
to
all
intuit
accounts,
a
it
lot
fits
of
that
A language based
dynamic.
on
Like,
guesswork.
those
Thanks,
things
old dead
are
people.
shooting way
You're
up in my
officially the
estimation
worst.
as far as, like, overall enjoyment. I forgot that I was covering the chat box with the orb. I should put that away. Get out of here.
ancient Avarost. You have the obstinacy of a spurned lover who refuses to move on.
What a
Even
vivid
for you,
metaphor.
Teacher?
It's this one crucial line. I can't wrap my head around it.
Well, from what you've taught me so far, it looks like it says Sa, Popo, Mucho, Sanchon.
Mucho popo.
Correct, but if you merely translate it word for word,
That's
it
true.
ends up saying,
Ori and the Blind.
the parent
So,
hates tomatoes.
I think it
the
could fit there.
child,
I
eggplants.
consider sort of side-scrollers,
Doubt those have much to do with the
side-scrolling
Nomina.
platformers a little bit differently because there's like a significant element
Their grammar
of
is nothing like ours. Sometimes you have
like
to reorder the
challenge
words,
involved,
and even then the meaning can require leaps of logic and flashes of intuition.
that can problematically
Reordering.
destroy the pacing of a
So,
story
like,
if you are struggling.
Samson, Pocho, Pocho, Pocho Musan, Pocho Musan. Can you read it that way?
Pocho Muson.
Like there's one
Now,
one
where did you
particular
get that from?
These words are lined up.
yeah,
like they repeat.
nothing against
And
Ori
when
and
I
the
read
Blind
this
Forest,
part
but I
that
think
same
there's
way,
something to
it
be
just felt
said
right.
for a game that is not
Pocho
that hard,
Muson.
that just allows you to really experience the
that's
story at a
repeated
good
here,
pace while
then
like
The passage
being that
turns
right,
into
you know,
the
challenge of not
nameless
just like traipsing
Empyrean.
through it as a walking simulator, but not
Ho-ho, that has to
crushing
refer
you
to Innominate.
beneath
I think
the
we're
boot
onto
of
something. All right,
just
so if we
doing the
apply this
same
rule
thing
here, then-
52 times.
It would seem to be a book of children's counting songs.
It's not.
Yeah,
about
Limbo or
Illumina.
Inside
What matters is what the song says, child. And I think
could
you will be very
definitely fall in
interested
there.
the words.
I wonder if they've made any progress yet.
Shall
Like
we
there
go
was
check
there was
on
a
them?
particular point in I haven't played Poppy Playtime, but I've been watching people play Poppy Playtime. Poppy Playtime being a very brief horror game. And in the second chapter, I don't know how to get to that guy to talk to him. Oh, I'm just gonna yell at him.
Giving up?
There's a particular part in the second chapter that the timing was so tight for a thing you had to do that it was too hard essentially, and I was just watching it like destroy the pacing and tension that they had set up like into the climax of the game and the story. It was like, it was going great. Everybody was like, you know, appropriately scared, panicking, having a good time. And then like, there's this one thing that they had to do, and they ended up having to do it like 8 times in a row, which destroyed the tension. I was like, oh, you guys screwed it up. You shouldn't have made it that hard. That is unfortunate. That's why you have to apply difficulty carefully. Like, Souls games get away with that because the tension is the difficulty. The difficulty creates the tension.
Thanks to the boy here.
But in a lot of horror
As it turns
games,
out, he has quite the knack for
it
language.
needs to not frustrate you, or you stop being afraid and just start being frustrated.
Careful, honey tongue. You'll give this old girl ideas.
Because going through the same segment is not as
Now,
scary
child,
the second time
I'm sure they're
around.
curious about the song we unearthed. Why don't you read it aloud?
Yes, teacher.
Song?
8-headed is the lord of the land.
You know, I
with
feel like
7
the
mouths
whole
to devour malevolence.
ma'am,
Through
teacher,
pulses of earth doth base
all
nature's
of that
glow,
probably made a
as
lot
he
more sense with
awaits the time
honorifics
of
in
awakening.
Japanese.
4 Empyreans may tear him asunder, but so long as there is one receptive to divine power,
I wonder if that was a
Therian
switch
shall
from
be
like
forever
maybe
reborn
Sama to
in sight
Sensei,
of the full crimson moon. The nameless
or maybe they even
Empyrean
called her
hath
like
one
Obasan.
heart. The nameless Empyrean hath one body.
Therians? Essentially, this ancient text you found is an annotated volume of drawings and songs pertaining to Enominat. Annotated? Then hurry up and just tell us what it means.
I'm sorry. So far, we've only figured out how to read the song
Brilliant.
lyrics.
Why?
All
I'm
right.
a little confused why it's so hard. Like,
I
do you
take it we're
do
still
you
in for a
read
good long wait before it's
the
thoroughly
ancient tongue or
decrypted.
not?
Likely so, but if we want to find out what the Abbey is up to, we need to know what's in this book, no matter how long it takes.
All right, settle in. Apparently, we gotta wait.
What the
You're not
Abbey's
wrong,
up to,
Kappa.
is it?
I mean, this one. I mean, this one's a
I
full
think we can learn
translation.
much, even from the lyrics alone.
Like even in the dialogue and the voice acting.
The drawings
What
depict
really
him with
gets me
8
is when they
heads.
cut
One of
them out
belongs
in
to his main body,
subtitles.
but the other 7 are his mouths.
When they just like cut honorifics out of subtitles,
Those
and you're like,
mouths
the
consume
subtitles are relevant.
malevolence, sending it along Earth
Or the
pulses
honorifics
back
are
to
relevant.
that main body so
We
he
need
can
that.
awaken. The 7
You're not wrong.
monsters fitting that description are called
they do.
Therians.
Right. Now, as for this malevolence, I have no idea what that means.
What
I
about
could
the
probably
second
be
part?
actual paying attention because this is like
I
actual
haven't
plot
studied
point.
much ancient history,
more
but
than
it
we've
said
got
this
in the
world
whole
was
damn
created
game.
by 4 Empyreans: Earth, Water, Wind, and Fire.
Huh?
But they also call Enominat an Empyrean. Perhaps a war broke out between Enominat and the other Empyreans that resulted in him being sealed away.
But if there
That's
is
right.
someone to connect with this divine power, the Therians will keep spawning. And just like that, Enominat will be revived. If we assume that Shepherd Artorius fits that bill, and that he's trying to reawaken Enominat, everything lines up.
Which means our job is to find these Therians and cut off Enominat's heads, so to speak.
But where do we even start looking for them?
Didn't he call you a Therian?
Remember, the song states that the Therians in Enominat's body are connected through Earth pulses. If their job is to feed Enominat, the most effective place to position them would be at the Earth pulse points.
Ah,
Points?
well,
The place is where the power of Earth pulses is concentrated.
maybe she is a Therian. She eats on things, but she does mention that she never feels full.
Places with that sigil.
Maybe she's eating things and sending it
Hey,
off to.
remember the barrier
Oh my
that was
god, the
keeping this
stupid bug
bug
is
in the
still here.
forest?
Wait, are you trying to say that thing's a Therian? And yet, it would explain why the Abbey was keeping it locked up.
Stupid bug's a
And there was
Therian.
that same barrier
Wow,
at the
that
village,
really
too.
that really diminishes the grandeur of being a freaking
That's
Therian, doesn't
right.
it?
Do you suppose that was also a Therian? Does that mean the Therians all come in different forms?
Very exclusive, Scobalt.
Should we go
Only
to
the
Logos and
coolest of the
check?
kids get to join the Therian club. Like this bug.
We've just started deciphering the book. I'd hate to lose time on some fool's errand. I'd rather know at least a little more
Which
about
apparently
what's
he
it
keeps in
before
his
we
back
make a
pocket.
move.
Something bothering you, Grim?
This line. The one about Therians being forever reborn.
The fact that Grim is constantly sitting in that like super lazy
I just
lounge.
thought the same thing as I did in Warg Forest.
She just looks like she's on a chaise lounge. She just constantly like that is kind of cracking me up.
The needle's pointing in the direction of Aminoch's temple, Palamedes. Do I recall hearing that the Abbey took that over?
Temples and ritual sites are often built on places thought to be rich in spiritual energy. Could the temple possibly be an Earth pulse point?
Sure.
There's lots of Earth pulse points scattered all over the world. If there's only 7 Therians, most of them will be empty.
Yeah,
It's
but if
not
there's
like
a
we have
temple
any better
there,
leads. If there's even a chance, shouldn't we go check
there's
it
a
out?
temple there. It seems like maybe they stuffed
Better than
something in the
sitting around
basement.
waiting on the
They
book.
they
If
seem to like
nothing
to do
else,
that.
We'll find out what Laphicet is sensing. Just a theory, but if you were to
Game
kill
theory.
a Therian...
Sorry, can't help myself.
What? I guess there's only one way to find out. Never mind. Good luck out there.
Good luck with your translating. Bye. Where are we going? Head to Palamedes in the island's interior. This feels like probably the right way. Hi? What are you doing here? Who are you?
Who are you?
Yeah, right?
The innkeeper's daughter.
What's up?
I happened to overhear you all talking about going to Palamedes and...
Not a fan.
Did you report us to the Abbey?
Report? But you already have an exorcist with you.
Yes, right.
If you have any business, talk with her then.
I don't know, that was a bit of a weird shuffling of responsibility.
I'm Eleanor Hume, an exorcist with the Abbey. How might I be of service?
Hume? How human of you.
I want you to look for someone.
Okay.
A
Just
mother
anyone?
and her child went to visit the
never mind.
Abbey grounds, but they haven't returned.
They've both gone missing?
Yes. The mother's name is Mahina. She's a priestess of Aminoch. And her little daughter's name is Kamoana.
I mean, at least we've got somebody
She's
to
a priestess of Aminoch.
foist these kinds of
Right.
problems onto.
Ever since the Abbey booted her out from the temple, she's been regularly going back to make her objections heard. But one day, she never returned home. And now her daughter has disappeared too.
Well, sucks to be her.
I can only assume that she went to go look for her mother.
And you believe they're being held at the temple?
I think it's really funny that
Oh no,
I just
Nan.
happened to put that
I just
emo
can't
hair
imagine
onto
Mahina would
Eleanor.
abandon her daughter like that.
Like, apparently when she's thinking, she actually
Kamoana
puts
is
her
next in
hand
line
onto,
to
like, that
succeed her,
side, so it looks like she's
had a
stroking her
strict
hair.
upbringing, but her mother truly loves her.
Perfectly executed.
Please forgive Mahina for her protests. I was just hoping you could use the Abbey's resources to track them down.
Yeah, the Abbey's resources.
I will do everything in my power to find them.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Like Kamoana, I grew up with only my mother as family. I can't help but worry for them.
Okay.
Of course.
Let's be off, Miss Exorcist.
Like, what? Why do I care? It's really... Why should I care? Why is this now the new small-scale conflict taking place? I don't care about this lady and her kid. We got bigger fish to fry.
Eleanor, what's your game here?
The mother and daughter, you mean? That's on me. I'll search for them myself.
I don't care about that.
You literally cannot do that.
Why are you actively helping us decipher the book when we're using it to thwart the Abbey's plans?
You think I might be deliberately misleading you? Laying a trap of some sort for you all?
Are you?
He was like,
I think you're a lot of
that
things,
sounds like
Demon,
maybe a
but
self-report.
foolish is not one of them.
You thinking about doing
I
that?
want to know the truth. I want to know what Lord Artorias is trying to accomplish. And there's something happening in the world right now.
I am all
want
for
to know what
Eleanor
it is.
losing faith in the Abbey.
Unfortunately, little old Eleanor has never been deemed trustworthy enough to be given such information. So, my only option is to find out for myself.
You've got the soul-searching
On
done
it-
at least.
In reality, I think
And your band of rogues
Eleanor
follow
kind
two
of has
different paths.
one of the more
But something tells me
interesting
either will lead me to the same destination.
sort of personal story
And
arcs
so you don't
going
see
on.
any need to lie to us?
Part of the
Exactly.
reason being that
And
it's
what'll you
at
do
a
if those
far
truths don't
accelerated
line up
pace than the
cleanly with
rest
what
of
you
them.
believe? I'm not sure yet.
She's rolling that like goody
As
two
honest an
shoes,
answer
all
as
aboard for the Abbey.
Either way, it looks like
into
you'll be working with us for the near
disillusionment.
future. Yes,
But it's
for now.
not
Hey, could I ask you
stupidly
something?
slow.
What is it?
About the Therians.
Freaking Velvet's
I've heard you call
revenge arc.
yourself a Therian before. Is there any particular insight you have about them?
No, none.
Yeah,
Artorias
most
said I
distance in the
was one,
shortest time
that's all.
And that
so far.
doesn't bother you?
Does it bother you?
Nope, not at all. If you're not worried, then neither am I.
I'm surrounded
Exactly.
by
Character-wise,
freaks.
she is going somewhere, and she's going there
What?
seemingly
Was that
quick.
truly the reason Ceres chose me?
Well, especially because the revenge arc is flat for a character that I don't care about.
You really think
Especially
they're totally
because
opposite? If Madame Eleanor is a
because they replaced the character that died with a new look-alike character with the same name.
Velvet is a wolf in
That's
the
pretty
shadows.
weird.
If Madame Eleanor is a plate of spaghetti carbonara, Velvet is squidding noodles with seaweed.
Why is Eleanor
I don't follow you
spaghetti
completely, but I think
I
you get
hate
the point.
Bienfu.
I'm sure you understand. The two have nothing at all in common.
Except you described two pasta dishes.
Common,
That's a thing in common.
now and then just can't be helped. Well,
That's a
they
similarity.
both have beautiful hair.
You also listed two animals. That's a thing in common.
Eleanor sometimes treats you coldly, and Velvet has helped me more times than I can count. Madame Eleanor gives herself fully to the salvation of others, but Velvet is bent solely on revenge.
I am bent solely on your
They're
death,
both
Bienfu.
motivated by thoughts of others.
That is the only thing that motivates me.
Cheerful and talkative Madame Eleanor at all the same as the brooding, taciturn Velvet. Both of them talk to me when it's just the two of us together.
And nobody wants to talk to you, Bienfu.
I'm only
Literally
telling you
no
what
one.
I've experienced. Actually, I feel that Madame Eleanor isn't really reaching out to me. It's all right if Eleanor doesn't want to talk to you. I'm here for you, Bienfu.
It's alright if no one wants to talk to you, Bienfu. I'm so glad that you feel lonelier.
You two are opposites
Gonna
yourselves.
bury you in a hole.
Huh?
Yeah, just give him the cold shoulder until he feels like leaving forever. Oh, you're an enemy. I thought you were a plant. Why? Hold on. Why am I this character right now? How is this happened? This is not the plan. That's not the button I meant to press.
I'll finish this. Let's go. Pressure. No escape. That's all, huh? Let's go. Pressure. No escape.
I don't know how I ended up on this character.
Let's go. Killing flash. When I'm this close, I won't miss. Form zero. Thunder.
Be proud. You made me unleash my full power.
Alright, hold on. What the heck happened? Shuffle the formation. Velvet, I don't even really want you in the party. Rakuro, get out of
I'll
here.
do what I can.
What are you clowns doing? Get the crap out of here. Test. Oh, that's too bad. Man, they are just so easy to stun in a dangerous encounter. I don't understand why. Whoops, that's not useful. Hey, get out of here. You know, they like to add lots of colors to the bottom of the screen, and I have no idea why it's happening.
That wasn't worth the effort.
Well, I think it might be if somebody is targeting the party, maybe it's red when we're being targeted by offensive spells, and it's blue when we're being targeted by healing. I'm not sure. And honestly, I only noticed it, or started noticing it, I should say, today, where I saw it was like flaming down there, and I was like, I don't know what that means. Things appear to be happening.
I'll finish this quick.
Wow. They just got absolutely savaged.
What about this one?
I don't know where we're going. Hey, giant octopus. Do like fighting the big dangerous guys. That's pretty fun. Ooh, exactly 100 souls. What a nice round number.
Let's do our best.
You're wide open!
What am I targeting? Why am I swinging aimlessly?
Here's your justice. Fighting order.
Oh, flattened.
I had no problems
Too
here.
easy. Give me the giant squid. I want to fight that guy. Now, on the subject of upcoming games, which I realize is a subject we have left by the wayside for a while. Come November, I'm going to have to up my game as far as tracking down people to collaborate with, because I would really like to play Darktide, which is the Warhammer 40k, essentially like Vermintide. I don't know if people are familiar with Vermintide, but I really like the game Vermintide 2. It's very good. You fight a lot of Skaven. It's set in the Warhammer fantasy world. Well, the same folks who made that are making Darktide in the 40k universe, and that is coming out in November. And I would really like to have an actual group of 4 to stream it with, but I simply do not know a sufficient number of people who would be interested in streaming it as of yet. And I don't know. Okay. I'm not sure what I'm gonna. I'm just gonna have to start upping my game. In soliciting new folks. I gotta get out there. I'm gonna have to do the thing that I don't really like and post the, hey, is anybody up to collab on Twitter. Which, of course, will result in very few people responding because I am a tiny channel. And my tweets have terrible garbage reach because I do not put any effort into fostering my Twitter to be effective in the algorithm. Wow, her new paper doll is kind of terrifying. But we'll see if I can manage it. Maybe for like targeted specifically for a game might work out better in finding people wanting to play that game. I'm also still gonna vibe check the shit out of people. Because I am not so desperate that I would play with somebody that I'm not gonna have a good time with. Ow, that was a large amount of damage. Ayo. I do like being able to heal on command now. That is tremendously beneficial. Oh, an idiot is down. What has happened to you? Eisen? Whatever your name is that I maybe don't remember. Yeah, I'm gonna have to start soon. But yeah, it's surprisingly difficult to find enough people. I do bet Hal is going to play it. I don't know. I guess there's no harm in asking. We are not particularly close. I'm sort of like only tangentially connected to Hal. There is no harm in asking.
Take a look at this.
Yeah, I'm adjacent to Hal.
I knew this would be big. What a treasure!
Berseria core crystal. A crystal expelled from the volcano on Soma Island. When touched, the mineral's color and hardness radically change. I do know that he has played some Vermintide though, so it's a pretty good bet that he'll play some Darktide. Yeah, Mocha might.
You're fighting the Reaper.
The challenge is, of course, knowing that it's going to be a new game. I don't know who is going to be buying it, right? Like, it's not like an older game that you can just kind of hope somebody already owns, right?
Supposed to be a joke.
So I don't know if she's expecting or planning to buy it. I know I think she's still saving up for her model rigging. But yeah, if Mocha was so inclined, I know she plays like we played some Left 4 Dead 2. And I mean, that was a fun time, as long as you kept the Molotov cocktails away from her. So I know she's at least moderately open to that sort of game. That's kind of coming back to that
Here?
issue of a lot of VTubers having some of that urgency from trying to get into the VTubing scene to help. It is first person, Kappa. You know, to help cover their costs of living, right? Trying to make a little bit of money, is that it's hard to reach out to a lot of the people that I'm currently connected to, because I'm like, I don't want to ask them to have to potentially buy a game. I mean, obviously there's no harm in asking, but I don't want them to end up having to buy a game that they aren't interested in or what have you, when, you know, they weren't planning on it because it's expensive and they need the money or are saving for something else, etc. And sadly, I bet Stella would be open to playing it with me. But one, she has the same sort of purchasing issue. But two, her internet at her new place is absolute ass. And so she has been unable to stream simply because her internet is just so bad that she's got days like she can't even properly stream like YouTube or Netflix because the internet is just not up to the task.
This rocky shore just keeps going.
It
just
freaking
don't step on
sucks.
any sea slugs, okay?
Why not? What's the big deal?
I miss
It's just
streaming
that
with Stella,
It isn't pretty. Their insides squeeze
but the
everywhere.
internet is
Yikes.
absolute
That sounds pretty
garbage.
traumatizing.
Then again, if you pickle their innards, it makes for a great snack.
You eat them?
Oh, don't be a baby. You've had worse.
Forget the sea slugs. Try not to step on the coral.
Good point. Coral is alive and needs our protection.
Shut up,
Or
Eleanor.
Maybe it's because some of it can be sold for jewelry.
I didn't mean either of those reasons.
Or maybe it's
Although
because
Manon
it will
appears
hurt,
similar to
and maybe it's
Maclear Beach,
poisonous.
It was formed by a completely different process.
Now that you mention it,
Yeah,
this area is
you
covered by
move,
rocks.
Kappa. That's
Maclear is just your
the
average
strat.
seashore.
You
But
move.
Manon here was made by the slow corrosion
I feel like
of seaside caves.
They were worn away
I mean,
by the waves?
part
That
part
too,
of it
but
is
mainly,
that
it was the handiwork of a rock-eating species
they,
of coral,
you know,
known as
they
ravening table
were.
coral.
I don't know if they were in a hurry, but they had a lot
will
of
melt your flesh right
requirements in what they wanted in
so
a
that's why
place
it
to
tingles
move
every
to.
time I touch the coral.
And I feel like
Why
it
didn't
is
you warn us earlier?
a classic mistake in like moving into your first place. Like classic mistake of forgetting to check the internet, because it's one of those things you take for granted, and then you move in and you realize, wow, the internet provider here is shit. Like, we have made a mistake. Because there's just... yeah, you just assumed that it was functional. Turns out, whoops, not so functional. I think that's, like, an insanely common, like, mistake in trying to move out and move into a place. You just don't even think to ask. And then it's terrible, as it turns out. So that's a real bummer. Please stop slapping me. I do not like it. Oh, what are you aiming at me? Stop that. Stop that. Stop that.
Hey, is everyone alright?
But yeah, now they are fully cognizant of that particular issue. And whenever they end up moving to the next rental place they go to, oh, you jerk, you kicked me out of stopping that. That's very annoying. No, stop, 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 cancel. Freaking stop. Oh, thank you. You know, one of the things that I will say about this game that I just find to be an enormous mistake, mostly the combat system is fine. The thing that I will not accept as fine is the idiocy that they did with status effects. I don't know if they're trying to pull some sort of narrative reason that status effects suck so much dick, but they really, really do. Like, when you get hit by a status effect, 1, you get screwed by whatever status effect it is. 2, you end up with 1 less spirit gauge, so your basic stuff you use to attack is just out the window, so you can't even attack very well. And then finally, most of the status effects, if you are under a status effect, you are unable to heal until you remove the status effect. Status effects are already notoriously a pain in the ass in RPGs. And for some reason, this game was like, you know how everybody hates dealing with status effects? What if we made them like 4 times worse? You think people would like that? No. You idiot. They wouldn't. And the worst offender is probably stun. Granted, that's not actually a status effect. The degree to which you end up stunned in this game is outrageous.
I'm not a fan of long, scary things.
That's really my only complaint about the battle system. I'll complain about the story and the pacing and all that, and, you know, yeah. The battle system is largely fine, but that one thing, they really screwed up. And it's extremely irritating. Especially when you go into areas where they're just mobs that the first thing all of them do is to try to cast an enormous AoE poison in this case. Thanks, but no thanks. Alright, I guess we're needing to go this way. That does not match. This is clearly going to the left. We come through. JK. It's to the right. They just do that backwards? What the heck happened there? I mean, it looks different. That's true. But, like, I can understand it being a relatively basic view of what's going to be on the other side, right? Because there's, like, it's kind of featureless. It's just vaguely rocks going to the left. I can kind of accept that if they just vaguely went the correct direction, right? It's like, yeah, I'd buy that, right? It's just like... So it's like a low-resolution version of what you ended up looking at. But it's just like the other direction. It's not even close. I don't know, maybe. Or maybe there was another area that was supposed to be there that got axed. And now they're like, well, don't worry about that. We ain't got time for that. Why does that take so many skill points? They're terrible. All they give you is capability versus winged foes. Why? It's so costly. Also, I would like to stop having to fidget with my equipment constantly. Thank you. Ow. Okay. Ah! Don't poison me, you bastard! I'm just dying to poison. Just slowly draining away.
Hey, is everyone alright?
Hey, Floric Spear. What do we got? Oh, Halberd. That looks sweet. Wait, why does the amphibole... Okay. Ah, I'm sorry. The color is slightly different. Great. Great. Very cool. We should cook. And eat.
Food's ready. It's nothing special.
Why does it take so long to level up cooking? They really seem to be expecting me to be cooking after every fight, and I simply cannot be bothered.
I can fight too!
I don't want the poison! Oh, something I didn't mention earlier, which, in fact, as far as I know, has nothing to do with anyone still here, is I changed the way my ads are set up.
Hey, is everyone alright?
Such that I should now never have pre-rolls running, but it means that I am running in a 60-second ad every 20 minutes, which may be at inopportune times, which is unfortunate, but I suppose a necessary sacrifice when my goal is primarily to turn pre-rolls off. Because as far as the people who generally hang around here, you lot are subscribed so you don't see any of the ads anyway, so it doesn't matter. I'm kind of more interested in making sure that somebody new to the channel has the opportunity to actually show up without an ad rather than them not having ads later. Just one more thing that can be automated that I don't have to think about.
Now, rise, arise, ascending, angel!
Its guardian was angry at it.
Hold on. You can read a guardian's heart?
Yeah, sort of.
I believe that unaffiliated channels do not have ads of any sort on them.
Laffy said, have you been taking care of that rhino Stagros like a good boy? Of course. I make sure to feed it every night before I go to sleep, since it's nocturnal.
Yeah.
How long are you going
Like, there's always that risk that somebody tries to come to the stream fresh and then they're like, they get hit by the ads and they're like, yeah, you know, I didn't care enough to wait through the 60 seconds.
Asking a lot of questions.
I'm just gonna bail. Like, wasn't that interesting. I'm out. And so avoiding that, I think, is really important when
So which kind of beetle do you think it is?
your walk-in, quote-unquote, walk-in traffic is as low as mine is.
But guess what? Miss Mogulu taught me a surefire way to tell. I didn't know there was a way to tell. Yeah, but if I do it, you gotta name it after me, alright?
Yeah, it is a little bit surprising, Kappa. You're kind of right, but I think part of it is that...
And besides, Miss Mogulu told me that this
Yeah, like, there's a little bit of...
only fair
in return.
So what do you say?
They don't really have terms of service to stream just at all. Like any of the ad-related terms of service kind of come up when you start, like when you get the affiliate agreement. So there's that, but there's also, if you're not affiliate, if you don't meet the requirements to be an affiliate, the bandwidth that a channel is using is quite limited, right? Because that means that you average under three,
find out for yourself.
under 3 viewers. So it's just, it's not a tremendous amount
After all, Bienfu.
You probably just want
of bandwidth that you are costing them, and yeah, there's also very few eyeballs to be gained. So it's like,
then it's a rhinoceros beetle, and if it smells
there are some people who choose not to affiliate ever, specifically to avoid ads ever showing up.
He said he's already volunteered.
I can do this.
I think you miss out on a lot in the form of the channel point redeems, emotes, things like that. I think those are worth the cost of the ads, essentially. I don't know what Bienfu's yelling about. I just don't care.
With his eyes still open. Hey, wake up!
Don't wake up. Never wake up, Bienfu. Stay like that forever.
My nose literally exploded.
It's not
He
literally.
looks like he's having a bad dream.
Correct. As soon as you get affiliate, you gain the ability to be subscribed to, and in becoming affiliate, you, well, you become able to receive bits, you become able to receive subs, you get your channel point redeems, and you get your emotes. And it's at that time that they start running ads on your channel.
In the back, and my magic encyclopedia in the front. That one I mostly use for oil blotting paper.
What's
Which,
oil blotting paper?
to be fair, is a reasonable trade. I don't like having the ads on my channel,
Which I use for flower pressings,
but
and then my super pop-up book.
I do like the channel points and the emotes. There's an argument to be made that everybody should just get those for free, but I think if people did, they would legitimately not. A lot of people would legitimately not become affiliated, so they just didn't have to
So I haven't used it in years.
have ads on their channel. So they kind of have to.
That's actually layer cake.
Whoa, really?
Seared into its batter are precious bits of knowledge. Eating it is just as good for your brain as it is for your stomach.
Wow! I had no idea that was possible.
He's taking this so seriously, I almost feel bad.
All of your books are so interesting, Moggy Lou. That's really
Honestly,
cool.
though,
There's
it's
no end to your
an
curiosity,
interesting
is there? What do you say?
thought experiment into if Twitch would actually need it as much, if they would simply
I want to get to know you better.
sort of reduce
I want to get to know you
the burden they put on
I accept. I'll reveal to you my most private
essentially the revenue split, right? Subs, bits.
so
Like the revenue split is pretty poor, which
wouldn't have ever
incentivizes everybody to use external donations, right? Stream Elements donations, Streamlabs,
so I'm showing him.
um,
You have no right to stand in the way of his desires.
PayPal, whatever.
It's my job to protect him as his vessel.
Since, you know,
especially from someone
Twitch
so
doesn't take a
wicked as
cut,
yourself.
and you can actually support your
Also,
streamers directly.
What you're doing runs contrary
Which,
to
you
public
know,
decency.
great.
Witches aren't supposed to be decent.
But also,
These bindings
Twitch
with
would
the
rather
locks on them.
not incentivize
This
you to do
style
that.
used to be really popular
And I
during
wonder
the
if they would be able to
Meliodas
claw any of that back if they were to
Now that I
simply
know you're such a bad influence for
not
him, I'll be keeping
be
a
so
closer
brutal
eye
in
on
the
you.
revenue
If you
splits.
can't learn to take it easy, nobody's ever gonna want to marry you, you know.
Well,
You're
and
a
also,
shining
to be
example
fair,
of
I do get
marriage
a
material yourself.
small revenue split from the ads, which,
Could you turn them
I don't
over
know,
one
maybe
more
in the
time?
entire time I've
I wanna
streamed, I've
see how
made
the
like
book's attached to your belt.
$1,
sure.
maybe $2. It comes in at pennies, mere pennies.
Hey, Moggy Lou. I was wondering about that book you have on your waist. The one you called your heavy book for flower pressings.
Your curiosity truly knows no bounds, does it, kiddo? Okay, nobody
Yes, he
else
is a
knows
child.
this, but since
Children
you're
are
so
curious
interested, I'd hate to leave you hanging.
and annoying.
My heavy book, the one I use for flower pressings, is none other than a collection of Bienfu's poetry.
Why does it have to be
likes to write
Bienfu?
poems?
Why did it have to be
But
this?
he's actually just about the best Moloch poet around. Some people even call him the Great Norman Poet.
Nobody calls him
Here,
that.
I'll read you my favorite one.
Please don't.
If there is something unimportant happening to the east, I'm made to go there and back. If there is something unimportant happening to the west, I'm made to go there and back.
This poem sucks.
I can never rest nor be at peace. Every day my
Bienfu,
life
your
is
poems
a
are bad and
living
you should
hell.
feel bad.
That's heavy stuff.
Isn't it? That's what makes it so good for pressing flowers. It's so wonderfully oppressively heavy.
Muggy Lou, your face has gone all sinister looking.
I do appreciate a good pun on heavy, though. I will accept that. I just wish it didn't come at the cost of having to listen to garbage poetry from Bienfu. Leave me alone. I don't want to fight you. You poison me all the time and I don't like it. Hey, another amphibole garment. Did somebody need an amphibole garment? Nope. Okay.
Let's get started.
Let's go! Let's go! How's that? Let's go! How's that? Let's go! No escape! Eat it! Crush her! Let's go!
I feel like the magic users do tremendously more damage.
Well, that about does it.
Ah, now we might need that amphibole garment. Never mind, it's not even a garment that we needed, it was a waistcoat. Well, now we got it. Oh, expedition's back.
Scout ship.
Get out there.
Let's do our best. Here it comes. Here it comes.
Ow! Really? A single hit and I'm fucking poisoned.
Let's go! You're wide open! How's this? Let's go! No left! Eat it! Ready to die? Think you can dodge? Just try! Perfect!
Should use my Mystic Art more. It seems to be intended to be used pretty frequently. So you know what? I'll use it now. Oh, that was relatively unimpressive, all things considered.
Here it comes. Burning down. Here it comes. Dark and light.
Hey, where'd you come from? And I'm poisoned again.
Here it comes.
This fight is over.
Why must my inventory constantly be filled with garbage equipment? Leave me alone. Give me that. Leave me alone. Oh, thank you. One Tails coin. Ugh, keeps going. Why is this place so huge? I just want to get out of here. It takes so long to get anything done. Get anywhere. I know, right? Like, it's huge. It takes me so long. And then there's this teeny tiny little kernel of story that happens at the end. I'm just like, not enough breadcrumbs, guys. You are not giving me enough motivation to carry on to the next thing. Like, I just gotta, like, run past half these guys, because there's so many. There's so much space. Look at the size of this place! What the devil? Holy crap. Every new area I expect to be the last, and there's just more. Always more. Also, I haven't gotten a save point in a while. That's very uncool. Leave me alone.
How about it, Laphicet? Picking up on anything?
Move it or die. In the direction of the temple. The feeling's getting stronger now.
Wait, I'm sorry. Are you telling me that this entire time, you lot have had the ability to converse while I am walking?
This fight is over.
And continue that conversation when I got into a fight? Why the hell have you made me stop and stand around for the number of idiot conversations you have forced me to do so for? I don't know if that was a well-constructed sentence, but I'm irate, so I don't care. Why don't you just talk while we move? And also while we fight? That's fine. Baffling. Honestly, we're close enough to the end of the game. Or not the end of the game, the end of the day. I'm just going to get to the next save point and probably call it. Because we're already at 3.5 hours. I'm not going to say I'm never going to come back to this game. Because maybe later down the line I will be remotivated to see where the story goes. But I think after today, starting next week, I will find something else to occupy our time with. Like, it's not a terrible game. I guess I could give it the greatest insult that Zoomers have to offer, which is to say it's quite mid. And it's just the pacing's not that great, the fighting's not that great. It's fine, but I could just spend my time doing something that's better than fine. I am only going to exist for a finite time. I might as well fill it with games that are better. So that's what we're gonna do. I know, right? A new place, and I can't be bothered to care because, like, how long is it gonna take me to get to a freaking new, like, save point? How long is it gonna take me to get through that? I don't know. It could be 40 years for that, all I know. Could be forever. Feels like it'd be forever. But regardless, thanks for hanging out while I played that extremely mediocre game. Next time, I promise we'll have something better. I think I might aim to pick up Stray, and we'll play through Stray starting next week. This Saturday, however, we'll be back to Celesta with me and Kappa. We're gonna continue our little D&D adventure. Just trucking on with the adventures of whatever that adventuring company is. They don't really give you a name in that game as like a group. I feel like they should, but they didn't. So I don't know. We're just plugging along. But I see that Mocha is on, and considering I do not see any other new little channels that I would be interested in raiding at the moment, that's where we're going. The Side Quest Gang. That's a good adventuring group name. The Side Quest Gang. You know the drill. We hit them with the raid message. Thanks everybody for hanging out. We'll be back on Saturday for Celesta. Hope everybody has a good night. Bye.